Chapter 502. How do you know that Shui Mu is dead? Su Chen continued to ask. When he killed Shui Mu, no one saw it. How did the hunchbacked old man and the others know? And they had rushed over as soon as they could. This made Su Chen deeply puzzled. There is a sensor stone in Yingxing City that can sense Shui Mu's movements. And once Shui Mu is in danger, the sensor stone will give a warning. The hunchbacked old man did not dare to hide anything and explained in detail. Su Chen shook his head and said sarcastically, "So, not only do you harm your own people, but you are also responsible for the safety of the aliens?" The humans of Yingxing City did not know how to be self-reliant. Instead, they chose to live like this. It was ridiculous and sad. The hunchbacked old man did not speak, but his expression showed that he admitted it. After figuring out the ins and outs of the matter, Su Chen smashed the hunchbacked old man's head with a punch. Then, he and the others got into the car and left. As for the people of Yingxing City, he did not intend to kill them. For one thing, he did not want to waste time. For another, there were too many of such people in the apocalypse. It was impossible to kill all of them. After the intelligent war chariot drove for half a day, MCV came from the front. At first, Su Chen did not care, but when he saw the logo of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce hanging on the MCV, he simply stopped the intelligent war chariot. He guessed that it was most likely the rugged man from the Yulong Chamber of Commerce who had brought people to cause trouble. A few minutes later, the MCV of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce arrived. When the car door opened, two men walked out. One of them was the rugged man, and the other was a middle-aged man with an ordinary appearance and a short stature. "You brought only one person to cause trouble?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and walked straight out of the car. "Milord, this is the brat who killed our men from the Yulong Chamber of Commerce." The rugged man pointed at Su Chen and reported respectfully to the short man. The short man looked at Su Chen and smiled. "Let me introduce myself. My name is Meng Sheng, a guest of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce." Su Chen was stunned. Why was the other party being so polite? Could it be that he wasn't here to cause trouble? "What is the purpose of your visit? You aren't here to joke with me, right?" Su Chen curled his lips and said indifferently. Meng Sheng put away his smile and said seriously, "My goal is simple. I want to kill you." The people of the intelligent war chariot were a little indignant. They looked at Meng Sheng with eyes full of sarcasm. "Is this guy crazy? You still want to kill Chenggu? There are too many self-righteous people on Wangshu Island. Every time one of them pops out, they look like they're awesome. Now, I seriously suspect that the idiots on Wangshu Island have already started reproducing." Yang Hao and the other two gathered together and discussed. Su Chen did not get angry. He smiled and said, "You must be the level 5 evolver from the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, right? Are you that confident in yourself? Brat, don't be so King arrogant. In front of our Lord Meng, you're nothing." Meng Sheng did not speak, but the rugged man next to him pointed at Su Chen's nose and shouted. Hearing this, Su Chen narrowed his eyes. Just as he was about to kill the rugged man, Meng Sheng suddenly attacked. However, Meng Sheng took the initiative to attack without any warning. He smashed the boorish man's head with his palm. Seeing this, Su Chen was stunned. Yang Hao and the others were also a little dumbfounded. Meng Sheng even killed his own people. His style of doing things was too strange. Chapter 503. You deserve to die for being so presumptuous in front of a true powerhouse. Meng Sheng spat at the corpse of the burly man and turned to look at Su Chen. "I've already gotten rid of the fly for you. You don't mind, do you?" "I don't mind, but if you want to kill me, it's impossible," Su Chen said faintly. Meng Sheng's way of doing things was a little confusing. He was now a little suspicious that Meng Sheng was a hothead. After all, he had killed a level 5 telekinesis master of the Protoss on the dock. His powerful strength had shocked everyone present. Meng Sheng did not even understand the situation, yet he dared to kill him alone. Wasn't he looking for death? As a level 5 dual profession cultivator, you do have the right to say such things. Mengxing smiled and then said arrogantly, but it's still not enough in front of me. On Wangshu Island, I'm invincible. No one can be my opponent. Su Chen opened his mouth slightly, and his expression was a little sluggish. Mengxing's pretentiousness caught him off guard. A level 5 evolver was invincible on Wangshu Island? Did he think those level 6 cultivators were just decorations? I know you don't believe it, but you will soon see my strength. Don't be too surprised, and don't beg for mercy, because no one who fights with me can survive. A wicked smile appeared on Mengxing's face. If that's the case, then let me see just how strong you are. Su Chen clicked his tongue and did not intend to let Mengxing continue to pretend. After saying that, he rushed in front of Meng Ping and raised his hand to punch him. He did not use all his strength in this punch. He wanted to test the waters. Come on. Mengxing shouted excitedly and also clenched his fist to punch Su Chen. There was a muffled bang. The two fists collided fiercely. Su Chen suddenly felt a violent force far beyond that of a level 5 evolver coming toward him. Realizing that something was wrong, he instantly used the heaven-reaching hundredfold vigor technique to break down the force. At the same time, he punched Mengxing more than 10 meters away. After Mengxing fell heavily to the ground, his face changed ferociously. Then, he quickly got up and returned to his original place. He shouted at Su Chen, "Boy, why is your strength so great?" Seeing that Mengxing was not injured in the slightest, Su Chen's expression turned cold. He asked in return, "Why is your strength far beyond your peers? Also, why is your physical body so strong? How powerful was the punch made by using the heaven-reaching hundredfold vigorous technique? Even a level 6 evolver would be seriously injured if they were hit by this punch." Mengxing was clearly only level 5. Not only was he able to withstand it, but he was also unharmed. This was too unbelievable. "Since you won't tell me, I'll beat you until you do." Mengxing grinned and quickly retreated. After increasing the distance between him and Su Chen, he raised his hand and shot a 5-colored thunderball directly toward Su Chen. Thunderstorm spell. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. He did not expect Mengxing to be a psychic sorcerer. Moreover, this 5-colored thunderball contained a terrifying wave of thunder and lightning that was definitely beyond a level 6 spell. It made his heart palpitate. Su Chen did not hesitate at all. He took out the enchanted sword and swept it out. In an instant, a blue torrent rushed toward the front seats. The blue torrent and the 5-colored thunderball collided with each other, making an earth-shattering sound of thunder. In the end, both were destroyed. "You are also a psychic sorcerer." Mengxing's eyes widened. His face was full of disbelief and shock. Chapter 504. Aren't you also a Dharma psychic? What's there to be surprised about? Su Chen rubbed his nose and smiled faintly. Mengxing gritted his teeth and asked unwillingly, "You're actually a holistic cultivator. How did you do it?" He was both an evolver and a Dharma psychic, and his level was very high. Originally, he thought that he was definitely considered a top genius in this world. However, Su Chen's appearance was a huge blow to him. "You don't have to worry about how I did it." Su Chen curled his lips and chuckled. "I've experienced your means. Now, it's time for you to see my true strength." "You still have a trump card?" Mengxing was shocked. The strength Su Chen had shown before was already very strong. Could it be that he was still hiding his strength? Then, how strong was his true strength? How could he know that what Su Chen had shown was just the tip of the iceberg? He had not used his real killing move yet. Su Chen did not waste his breath. As his palm glowed with a golden light, he raised his hand and punched out. Whoosh, whoosh, the shrill wind of the fist whistled continuously. Suddenly, 100 golden fist shadows appeared in the air. They joined together like a mountain of gold and smashed down on Mengxing's head. Secret fist technique. Meng Xing's face turned extremely ugly when he felt the hundreds of fierce fist shadows coming at him. However, he did not sit still and wait for his death. As the golden fist shadows smashed down, a broken black armor suddenly appeared on his body. Although the appearance of the black armor was somewhat poor, it exuded an unparalleled aura of majesty. It made people involuntarily feel like prostrating themselves in worship. Su Chen did not know why he had such an illusion. He did not think much about it and smashed down with his fist. Bang, 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 Meng Xing's figure was quickly drowned in a series of explosions. When the golden fist shadows dissipated, Meng Xing was seen lying in a deep pit, looking very miserable. However, Su Chen noticed that Meng Xing's life force did not show any signs of falling. This also meant that the Pegasus meteor fist did not cause any substantial damage to Meng Xing. This guy's defense is so strong. Su Chen was slightly moved. In the past, when he used the Pegasus meteor fist, it was always successful. Almost no opponents could withstand it. Even if they did not die, they would be seriously injured. It was the first time Su Chen met someone who was unharmed like Meng Xing. At this moment, Meng Xing suddenly jumped out of the pit and patted his body. Then, he looked at Su Chen and said sarcastically, "Your trump card doesn't seem to work on me. F***ck. This guy can really take a beating. You do have some strength. No wonder you dare to show off in front of Brother Qin, t. Yang Hao and others were shocked to see that Meng Xing was unharmed. This guy is probably the strongest opponent Su Chen has ever met. Wu Yang sighed. Since Su Chen's debut, he had met tens of thousands of opponents, but very few could withstand one or two moves from Su Chen. The reason was that Su Chen was too strong. He usually killed his opponents in seconds. Meng Xing and Su Chen were at the same level, but he could hold on for so long without being defeated, which really made him feel incredible. On the other side, Su Chen rubbed his nose and narrowed his eyes. He stared at Meng Xing and said in a low voice, "None of the people I want to kill has survived. You're no exception." Chapter 505. As soon as he finished speaking, a purple light flashed under Su Chen's feet. His figure blurred and disappeared from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Meng Xing. What a fast speed! Meng Xing's eyelids twitched. Su Chen's speed was so fast that it gave him the feeling that it was beyond the level of a level 6 evolver. It was the first time he had seen someone like that. However, he did not care too much about it. The broken black armor he was wearing had an extremely strong defense. Even a cultivator who was a level higher than him would not be able to hurt him. Among those of the same level, he was basically immortal. So what if Su Chen was fast? The final deciding factor was the attack. If Su Chen could not break through his defense, he would not be able to defeat him. However, at this moment, Su Chen released his mind power and trapped Meng Xing. At the same time, a black sword appeared in his hand and he pointed it at Meng Xing. Rumble, after a violent tremor in the void, a space crack appeared in front of Meng Xing. At the same time, a black vortex emerged from it. What the hell is this? Meng Ping's eyes widened as he shouted in shock. The black vortex exuded a destructive killing intent. It made him realize that if he did not dodge in time, he would be completely killed. Meng Xing's heart was filled with a deep fear. He struggled desperately, trying to escape from this place. However, the mind power released by Su Chen was beyond the level of a level 6 evolver. He could not break free for a while. He could only watch as the black and blue vortex enveloped him. Creak. Creak. The black armor on Meng Xing's body was slowly cut open amidst a teeth-numbing grinding sound. Without the protection of the black armor, the flesh on his body was easily torn apart. In the blink of an eye, half of his body was badly mutilated. Ah! Meng Xing let out a heart-wrenching scream. Su Chen was not moved. He controlled the Chaos Skysplitter sword and was about to give Meng Xing a fatal blow. Suddenly, a strong communication signal from the longevity fruit tree came from the plant dimension on his wrist. Su Chen raised his eyebrows and stopped what he was doing. He opened the planting space and communicated with the longevity fruit tree immediately. Xiaoshou, what's the matter? Master, I can sense the aura of the 5 thunder fruit, the strength fruit, and the sturdy fruit, the longevity fruit hurriedly replied. Hiss. Su Chen took a deep breath and his expression suddenly changed. He had never heard of the 5 thunder fruit and the sturdy fruit, but he had heard about the fruit of strength from the longevity fruit tree. Consuming the fruit of strength could increase one's strength. Its value was not below the fruit of essence. In the demon plant continent, it was also a sacred object. Xiaoshou, where did you sense it? Su Chen asked anxiously. Things like demonic plants and sacred objects were things that could only be encountered by chance. Since he had encountered one, he would definitely not miss it. Master, I can sense the aura of these 3 fruits on that human, the longevity fruit tree quickly replied. Mengsheng? Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He looked at Mengsheng and put away the Chaos Skysplitter sword. The moment he put away the Chaos Skysplitter sword, the black vortex that shrouded Mengsheng disappeared. At this time, although Mengsheng was not dead, he was very weak and looked extremely miserable. Half of his body was badly mutilated, and in some places, white bones could be seen, which gave people a creepy feeling. Su Chen glanced at him and ignored him. He turned to the longevity fruit tree and asked, Xiaoshou, what are the 5 thunder fruit and the sturdy fruit? Chapter 506. The 5 thunder fruit is a fruit that contains 5 thunder properties. No matter who consumes it, they will become a thunder sorcerer in a very short time. Moreover, they will be able to release the 5 thunder magic art, and its power will far surpass that of their peers. The sturdy fruit is a fruit that can improve one's physical strength. After consuming it, one's physique will be greatly improved. Correspondingly, one's physical strength will far surpass that of his peers, the longevity fruit tree explained in one breath. Hearing this, Su Chen was so excited that his breathing almost stopped. The 5 thunder fruit and the sturdy fruit were undoubtedly treasures. In his opinion, their effects were far greater than the power fruit. That was because he had the heaven-reaching 100-fold vigorous force technique. In terms of strength, he was almost invincible. If he continued to improve, it would not be very meaningful. However, the 5 thunder fruit and the sturdy fruit were different. The former could improve the power of thunder magic arts, while the latter could improve one's physical strength. It could not be underestimated. After a while, Su Chen took a deep breath and his eyes fell on Mengsheng. His mind started to work. When he fought with Mengsheng before, he found that Mengsheng was far superior to his peers in terms of strength and physical strength. The thunder magic arts that he released were comparable to the thunder magic arts that he had combined with the 2 thunder conjured objects. At first, he was more or less shocked. Now that he heard the longevity fruit tree's explanation, he understood that Mengsheng must have consumed a lot of these 3 fruits. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to have such a powerful performance. Mengsheng, do you want to die quickly? Or do you want to be tortured to death? Su Chen whispered. If he wanted to get these 3 fruits, he had to know their whereabouts first. Mengsheng obviously knew, so he had to pry open his mouth. You'd better give me a quick death. Mengsheng smiled bitterly. Being completely defeated by Su Chen was a fatal blow to a proud person like him. Moreover, he also knew that it was impossible for him to live. He just wanted to die. Since you have made such a choice, you have to answer a few of my questions, Su Chen said lightly. Go ahead. Mengsheng was now in such a situation. He didn't have any choice. Su Chen nodded slightly and asked tentatively, you must have eaten fruits that can increase your strength, physical strength, and lightning-type spells, right? Yes. Mengsheng did not hide anything. Su Chen's eyes lit up, and he continued to ask, tell me where they are, and I can give you a quick death. Hee hee, Mengsheng sneered, his eyes filled with disdain. I'm about to die. Do you think I'll tell you? Su Chen didn't get angry. He rubbed his nose and a strange smile appeared on his face. So you still want to be tough with me? My methods of torturing people are notoriously cruel. Since we're all going to die anyway, why not let you suffer a little before you die? Meng Xing smiled sinisterly. In the past, there were people who were as stubborn as you, but in the end, they all admitted defeat without exception. I hope you'll be the first to persevere to the end. Su Chen snorted coldly, then took out a bottle of healing potion and forced Meng Xing to drink it. Meng Xing's injuries were too serious. If he had to resort to torture, he would die in a few strokes. Before he got the whereabouts of the three fruits, he wouldn't let Meng Xing die easily. Didn't you say you wanted to torture me? Why are you treating my injuries? Meng Xing was a little confused. At this moment, he clearly saw that the wounds on his body were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye, and his vitality was gradually recovering. Chapter 507. You'll know soon. Su Chen curled his lips and waved to Chao Ran. Since he wanted to extort a confession by torture, Chao Ran was indispensable. This guy was already familiar with the method of gouging out eyeballs. Chen Gu, what can I do for you? Chao Ran ran to Su Chen and asked. This guy is very stubborn. According to the old rules, teach him a lesson. Su Chen stretched out his hand and pointed at Meng Xing. A cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Chao Ran understood. The netherworld dagger in his hand disappeared in an instant. When it reappeared, it had already flown to the front of Meng Xing's eyes. It was only a hair's distance away from touching Meng Xing's eyeballs. Chao Ran was not in a hurry to make a move. He wanted to let Meng Xing feel the taste of fear. What do you want to do? Meng Xing swallowed his saliva and his voice trembled a little. Su Chen turned his head and looked into the distance as if he had not heard it. Of course, I'm going to gouge out your eyeballs. Chao Ran smiled and controlled the netherworld dagger to stab into Meng Xing's right eye. Suddenly, blood splattered everywhere. Ah! You're not human. Meng Xing's whole face was twisted together, and he let out a painful and angry roar. You can really shout. Weren't you stubborn just now? Chao Ran sneered. He reached out to hold the netherworld dagger and slowly stirred it. He didn't pull out the dagger until Meng Xing's entire eye socket became a bloody hole. Seeing this, Su Chen couldn't help but click his tongue. In terms of being ruthless and lazy, tormenting others, Chao Ran was simply the best. He was definitely the best. Not only did it cause harm to people's bodies, but it also gave people a strong psychological impact. Su Chen also had some means of torturing people, but compared with Chao Ran, he was a little lacking. The most he could do was break his arm. It was nothing compared to gouging out his eyeballs. On the other side, Meng Xing couldn't bear the torture and kept screaming. Su Chen felt that it was about time, so he asked, I'll give you one more chance. If you tell me the truth, I'll give you a quick death. Go to hell. I won't say a word. Meng Xing clenched his teeth and roared. Holy shit. You really won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Chao Ran rolled up his sleeves and spat at Meng Xing. Then, he turned to Su Chen and said in a low voice, Chen Gu, I've recently developed a new method of torturing people. It's called death by 1,000 cuts. Since this guy refuses to accept it, let him have a taste of it. When he heard this, Meng Xing suddenly trembled, and a wisp of terror appeared on his face. Su Chen swallowed his saliva and looked at Chao Ran in a daze. He said to himself, this guy is going further and further on the road of cruelty. He's a living executioner. Death by 1,000 cuts was definitely a kind of torture. It could even be said that it was very cruel. However, in order to pry open Meng Xing's mouth, Su Chen felt that it was not excessive to use any means. He nodded and said, go ahead. I'm looking forward to your performance. Chen Gu, don't worry. Death by 1,000 cuts is just one of my small means. If he still doesn't speak, I'll continue to use the other 99 ways to torture him. Chao Ran replied solemnly. Then, he shook the dagger in his hand and slowly approached Meng Xing. Hearing that there were 99 more ways to torture people, Meng Xing's psychological defense collapsed. He said hurriedly, I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. Su Chen was delighted, but his face was cold. He stared at Meng Xing and snorted, hurry up and tell me. Don't waste time. Chapter 508. I got them from the miasma outside the mysterious heavenly mainland, Meng Xing said as if he had accepted his fate. Su Chen was surprised by Meng Xing's answer. Previously, he learned from Shen Mingfei that the miasma outside the mysterious heavenly mainland was extremely poisonous. Even a being above level 10 would disappear without a trace if they entered it. Meng Xing was only level 5. How could he enter the miasma and come out alive? Are you kidding me? How can you enter and exit the miasma as you please? Su Chen's face darkened. He instinctively thought that Meng Xing was not telling the truth. Chen Gu, this guy is not telling the truth. Why don't you let me cut him into pieces? Chao Ran also thought that Meng Xing was lying. He waved the dagger in his hand and looked like he was about to attack. I'm not lying. I'm a dying man. There's no need for me to lie to you. Meng Xing was really scared. He explained hurriedly. Su Chen pondered for a moment and asked, why did you enter the miasma? Wangshu Island was very close to the mysterious heavenly mainland. One of the areas was connected to the miasma. Everyone on Wangshu Island knew about the viciousness of the miasma. Why did Meng Xing still dare to enter it? This was a very suspicious point. Back then, I was being hunted by my enemies. I had no choice but to hide in the miasma, Meng Xing replied quickly without hesitation. This explanation made sense. If they were really in a desperate situation, they could indeed make such a choice. Su Chen believed him for the time being. He continued to ask, others would definitely die if they entered the miasma. How did you survive? Meng Xing explained, I thought I was going to die because there were some very powerful insect beasts hiding in the miasma. They have the ability to devour everything. However, they stopped attacking me when I released the black armor. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat when he heard this. He was not sure if Meng Xing was telling the truth or not. However, there was one thing that Meng Xing was not lying about. There were indeed some creatures hiding in the miasma. This was discovered on the central control screen. After pondering for a moment, Su Chen asked, where did you get the 3 fruits? Those insectoids gave it to me. Meng Xing said without hesitation. Su Chen frowned, his mind slowly turning. Originally, he had planned to follow the clues from Meng Xing and find out the whereabouts of the 3 spirit plants. Now, it seemed impossible. If he wanted to find the 3 spiritual plants, he would have to go to the miasma and ask the insects. However, he was not sure whether Meng Xing was telling the truth or not. If Meng Xing harbored evil intentions and deliberately led him into the miasma, he might be in danger. However, he was extremely unwilling to give up on 3 spiritual herbs just like that. After all, something like a demon plant holy object could only be encountered by chance. If he gave it up this time, he might not have a chance in the future. Alright, I've said everything that needs to be said. Can you give me a quick death? Seeing that Su Chen did not speak for a long time, Meng Xing urged him instead. Su Chen came back to his senses and thought of another matter. He asked, where did you get the black armor on you? Although the black armor was damaged, its defensive power was extremely amazing. If it were not for his numerous means, he would not have been able to defeat Meng Xing. He even thought that if the black armor was intact, even if he used the Chaos Sky-Splitting Sword, he might not be able to break it. A treasure like the black armor must have a great origin. Naturally, it attracted Su Chen's great attention. Chapter 509. I got it from a secret realm on Spirit Void Island not far from Wangshu Island. Meng Xing sighed and told the truth. He knew very well that Su Chen must have developed a strong interest in black armor. If he did not tell him, he would probably be tortured again. So, he might as well tell him everything. Spirit Void Island. Su-Chen narrowed his eyes and muttered to himself. He had seen Spirit Void Island on the central control screen. It was only a few hundred miles away from Wangshu Island and was less than 1/10 the size of Wangshu Island. It could be said that it was a very inconspicuous island. However, black armor came from Spirit Void Island. Spirit Void Island was not as simple as it looked on the surface. After getting the information he needed, Su-Chen kept his promise and gave Meng Xing a quick death. He blew up his head with a punch. Then, he returned to the intelligent war chariot, with Chao Ran. Satoshi, continue to Tianwang City. Su-Chen ordered and sat in the driver's seat. He closed his eyes and pondered. He had to find the 3 spiritual plants, the 5 thunder fruit tree. However, he had to take a certain risk to enter the miasma. He would not take the risk for the time being if he was not 100% sure. As for the secret realm on Spirit Void Island, he would wait until he confirmed the opening time of the teleportation formation. If he had enough time, he could go there. After that, Su-Chen didn't think too much and began to rest. About 2 hours later, the intelligent war chariot suddenly reminded him, "Master, we found an alien creature, a zombie, and a human 10 miles ahead. What are their cultivation levels?" Su-Chen's eyelids moved slightly as he said nonchalantly. If there were only one non-humankind creature and one zombie, the number would be too small. If their levels weren't high enough, he wouldn't kill them. The alien creature is a level 3 demon beast. The zombie is a level 4 evolver, and the human is a level 2 evolver. The intelligent war chariot immediately gave him the answer. Su-Chen slowly opened his eyes and looked at the central control screen. He said, "Satoshi, lock onto them and enlarge the image." He found it a little strange. Different cultivation levels and different species. What were the 3 of them trying to do together? The image on the central control screen changed, and soon, a giant eagle over 5 meters long appeared. At this moment, the giant eagle was spreading its wings and flying at an extremely fast speed. In front of the giant eagle, there was a young woman with a ponytail who was rapidly fleeing. What surprised Su-Chen was that the ponytailed woman wasn't running on the ground, but in the air. Moreover, its speed was not any slower than the giant eagle's. How did she do it? Su-Chen's mouth was slightly agape, a look of disbelief on his face. The ponytailed woman's ability was exactly the same as his meteoric rise. However, meteoric rise was dropped from a fragment. He didn't believe that there was anyone in this world who had the ability to kill zombies and get fragments. What was the situation with the other party? Just as Su-Chen was trying to figure it out, the intelligent war chariot spoke again. "Master, I sensed a flying spirit stone on that human." "What's a flying spirit stone?" Su-Chen's heart moved as he asked. Any ore that was dropped by the intelligent war chariot had a certain function. Therefore, he had some expectations for the flying spirit stone. The flying spirit stone is a type of ore that has the ability to fly. If you install it on me, I can activate the flying function, the intelligent war chariot explained. There's such an awesome ore. Su-Chen couldn't remain calm. Chapter 5:10. Imagine, if the intelligent war chariot could fly, wouldn't it be the same as a plane? It could travel freely in the sky, and its speed would be greatly increased. In addition, Su-Chen also thought that the reason why the ponytailed woman could run in the air was because she had a flying spirit stone on her. "Satoshi, open the door," Su-Chen ordered. Of course, he would not miss a treasure like the flying spirit stone. The moment the door opened, Su-Chen stepped out and stepped into the air. When he reached a certain height, he flew straight in the direction of the ponytailed woman. In order to get there as soon as possible, he even activated the rapid combat boots. His speed was amazing, and he disappeared in the air in the blink of an eye. On the other side, the ponytailed woman was still running for her life. Although the giant eagle had not caught up with her for the time being, her face was still full of panic. That was because she was only a level 2 evolved being, and her energy was not as strong as the giant eagle. Once she ran out of energy, she would die. After running for a while, the ponytailed woman's speed decreased a lot. The reason was that she had used up too much energy, and she was on the verge of collapse. Am I going to die? Seeing the giant eagle behind her getting closer and closer, the ponytailed woman's heart was full of despair. Suddenly, a whistling sound pierced her ears. It was the giant eagle that had caught up with her, and it stretched out its two sharp claws to grab her face. The ponytailed woman could clearly feel that death was approaching, and she even forgot to dodge. At this moment of life and death, she suddenly saw a blur in front of her. The next moment, a man's tall figure appeared in front of her. Who is he? Why is he here? Just as the ponytailed woman had this thought, she saw the man stretch out his hand and crush the giant eagle's head like he was crushing a chicken. So strong. The ponytailed woman looked at Su Chen's back in a daze, and her heart pounded. Su Chen turned around and glanced at her, and said in an unquestionable tone, "Come with me." After saying that, he carried the giant eagle's body and slowly floated down to the intelligent war chariot on the ground. So young, so handsome. When she saw Su Chen's appearance, the ponytailed woman blushed. After being stunned for a while, she immediately reacted and followed closely behind Su Chen. In front of a powerhouse like Su Chen, she did not have any thoughts of escaping. After landing, Su Chen threw the giant eagle to the ground and said to Yang Hao in the car, "Ong Hao, I'll leave the fresh ingredients to you." "Got it, Chen Gu." Yang Hao and the other two got off the car and began to deal with the giant eagle's carcass. Su Chen turned to look at the ponytailed woman and asked, "What's your name? Where do you live?" "Senior, my name is Huang Ling. I live near the Jade Forest Mountain." The ponytailed girl bowed and replied. Su Chen nodded slightly and continued, "Do you have a flying spirit stone with you? Take it out and let me have a look." Huang Ling did not hesitate at all. She directly took out a blood-red ore from her pocket and handed it to Su Chen. Su Chen glanced at it and asked the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, is this or a flying spirit stone?" "Master, it's a flying spirit stone," the intelligent war chariot replied affirmatively. "He's talking to the MCV?" Huang Ling opened her mouth slightly, and her thoughts were short-circuited. Su Chen was delighted and continued to ask, "How many flying spirit stones do you need to activate the flying function?" "At least 10, the intelligent war chariot estimated and replied. Chapter 5:11. Where did you get this flying spirit stone? Su Chen looked at Huang Ling and asked in a low voice. The flying spirit stone was a good thing. Of course, the more the better. If he wanted more, he must figure out the source. Huang Ling came back to her senses and hurriedly replied, "Senior, the flying spirit stone came from the Blood Lake of Jade Forest Mountain. There should be a lot of flying spirit stones in the Blood Lake, right?" Su Chen probed. If there was a large number of flying spirit stones stored in the Blood Lake, he decided to take them all. Huang Ling hesitated, as if there was something difficult to say, but in the end, she gritted her teeth and said, "Senior, if you want to get the flying spirit stone from the Blood Lake, you need to use a special method." "What method?" Su Chen was surprised. "You need the blood of our Fengling clan to condense the flying spirit stone." Huang Ling did not hesitate this time and said truthfully, "Is your Fengling clan also part of the human clan?" Su Chen frowned slightly. Huang Ling explained, "We are part of the human clan, but we are just a very weak branch of the human clan." Su Chen immediately understood. To put it bluntly, the Fengling clan was a minority of the human clan. The bloodline of the minority often had a very special function. He still remembered that the humans in Heaven Altar City of Thousand Feather Island were a minority. Because of their special bloodline, after being bitten by zombies, they would all become intelligent zombies. And they would retain the emotions of their former human life. Except for their different identities, there was no difference. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen continued to ask, "How much blood is needed to condense a flying spirit stone?" If the blood needed was not much, he could start with Huang Ling. He could give her some benefits and ask her to condense 10 flying spirit stones, enough for the intelligent war vehicle. I need the blood of a whole person. Huang Ling did not hold back at all. Hearing this, Su Chen was slightly moved. According to Huang Ling, wouldn't it be a life in exchange for a flying spirit stone? The flying spirit stone in your hand was exchanged with the lives of your clansmen? Su Chen probed. Huang Ling pursed her lips as if she thought of something sad and nodded heavily. Seeing this, Su Chen was a little confused. Flying spirit stones were precious, but they couldn't be exchanged with their lives, right? Why do you want to exchange your lives for flying spirit stones? Su Chen was somewhat puzzled. Huang Ling said angrily, Senior, we didn't want to die either. It was all the work of the Jade Forest Mountain's mutant beasts. Su Chen's expression turned cold, and he said in a deep voice, You mean, in order to obtain the flying spirit stone, the mutated beasts of the Jade Forest Mountain captured your clansmen and threw them into the Blood Lake? Yes. Huang Ling replied affirmatively. Su Chen's chest was ablaze with anger. It was true that humans and mutated beasts were on opposing sides, but doing such a thing was too bloody. Su Chen took a deep breath, suppressing the anger in his heart, and asked, How many of your people were killed by the mutant beasts? There are pitifully few people in Fengling. There are only 25 of us. Other than me, only my second uncle survived. However, in order to save me, I don't know if second uncle was captured by a mutant beast. When Huang Ling said this, she covered her face and cried. Don't worry, I will kill all the mutated beasts of the Jade Forest Mountain for you. Su Chen comforted. Originally, he had planned to destroy all the mutated beasts on Wangshu Island. After learning about this matter, he would not let a single one of them go. Huang Ling stopped crying and looked at Su Chen in a daze. At first, when she told him the secret of the flying spirit stone, she was still very worried. She was afraid that Su Chen would plot against her and capture her in exchange for the flying spirit stone. However, it was obvious that not only was Su Chen not such a person, he even wanted to avenge them. This made her very touched. Chapter 5:12. Actually, there was one thing that Huang Ling did not expect. Su Chen insisted on killing the mutated beasts. On one hand, he wanted to take revenge for the Fengling clan. On the other hand, he wanted to snatch the flying spirit stone. Since the Fengling clan had been killed, the flying spirit stone could not fall into the hands of the mutated beasts. Senior, I appreciate your kindness, but there is a level 6 mutated beast in the Jade Forest Mountain. You must not take the risk, Huang Ling advised. It was rumored that the level 6 mutated beast was a fire-type spirit beast. Its strength was unparalleled, and there were few opponents of the same level. On the Wangshu Island, it could be said to be an invincible existence. Although Su Chen was also very strong, he was still too young. In her opinion, Su Chen was at most a level 4 cultivator. Once he encountered a level 6 mutated beast, he would be killed in a single blow. Su Chen did not explain. Instead, he took out a bottle of level 3 physique potion from his storage bag and placed it in Huang Ling's hand. Your flying spirit stone is very important to me. I will use this potion to increase my strength to exchange it with you. Although the value of the flying spirit stone was very high, a level 3 physique potion was a good item that could allow one to become a level 3 evolver in an instant. Its value was not much lower than the flying spirit stone. Senior, I will give you the flying spirit stone. Huang Ling declined. After all, her life was saved by Su Chen. Giving him a flying spirit stone in return was a matter of course. As for the physique potion that Su Chen gave her, she did not care too much. Just take it, Su Chen said with an unquestionable tone. Huang Ling was shocked. She said with a trembling voice, Thank you, Senior. Just as she was about to put the vitality potion into her pocket, Tan Lin walked up to her and said meaningfully, Sister Huang Ling, you'd better drink that bottle of potion. Who knows, you might have an unexpected gain. Unexpected gain? Huang Ling looked at the physique potion in her hand. After a slight hesitation, she opened it and drank it. After a few breaths, her aura began to rise. Soon, it reached a new height. I have reached level 3. Even though she clearly knew that she had advanced, Huang Ling still felt incredulous. As everyone knew, the path of cultivation was extremely difficult. Especially for someone with ordinary talent like her, wanting to advance was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, after drinking a bottle of potion, he miraculously advanced. It was like a dream. In the face of this sudden surprise, Huang Ling was in a daze, as if she had become a fool. When Yang Hao and the others saw the expression on Huang Ling's face, they could understand how Huang Ling felt. Among the people present, the only one who was somewhat confused was Shen Mengfei. After all, it was her first time seeing something as miraculous as the physique potion. Senior, thank you. After a long time, Huang Ling came to Su Chen's side and thanked him profusely. With her talent, if it wasn't for Su Chen's help, she would have been stuck at level 2 for the rest of her life. Therefore, his gratitude to Su Chen came from the bottom of his heart. You deserve it. You don't have to thank me. Su Chen replied casually. Then, his gaze drifted to a patch of weeds not far away. He said sternly, "Get over here. Don't make me do it." Someone's there. Yang Hao and the others tensed up. They all looked at the weeds. At this moment, a rustling sound came from the weeds. Then, a middle-aged man with a dark complexion ran over. It's a zombie. When they saw the person's appearance, Yang Hao and the others' eyes were filled with killing intent. Chapter 5:13. This was the level 4 zombie that had appeared on the central control screen. This guy had been hiding in the bushes, and no one knew what he wanted to do. I am Chu Wushuang. Greetings, Senior. The level 4 zombie approached and greeted Su Chen respectfully. A zombie with intelligence. Su Chen raised his eyebrows, sizing up Chu Wushuang with interest, and said lightly, "You're sneaking around here, what's your purpose?" "Senior, I am here to make a deal with you." Chu Wushuang went straight to the point. A zombie actually came to make a deal with a human? This was something new. Su Chen was instantly interested. "Tell me," he whispered. He wanted to see what kind of tricks this level 4 zombie had up his sleeves. "Senior, I want you to help me kill a person." "Of course, I will pay you accordingly," Chu Wushuang said seriously. Hearing this, everyone's expression became a lot more strange. Chu Wushuang actually wanted to hire Su Chen as a killer. This was beyond everyone's expectations. Su Chen rubbed his nose and smiled. "Who do you want to kill?" "Zhou Qingyang of Imperial House." Chu Wushuang did not hesitate. Shen Mengfei and Huang Ling's expressions changed when they heard this. "Senior, Zhou Qingyang is from the undead race, and he is also a level 6 evolver. He is abnormally strong," Huang Ling quickly reminded. Su Chen did not mind. A level 6 undead race member could not do anything to him. However, there was one thing he could not understand. He and Chu Wushuang had only met for the first time. Why did he think that he could kill a level 6 evolver? With doubts in his heart, Su Chen said, "You know my strength? You have so much confidence in me." "I don't know much about Senior, but I have heard of you." Chu Wushuang coughed and began to explain. "Senior, you killed a group of God race members at the dock, and then killed Shui Mu of the Green Mang race. This is enough to show your strength. Killing Zhou Qingyang is not a problem." The reason why he had so much confidence in Su Chen was because he knew that Shui Mu had a level 6 puppet. The strength of a level 6 puppet was needless to say. However, Su Chen was still able to kill them with ease. This meant that Su Chen's strength had most likely surpassed the level of level 6. "In that case, tell me what kind of reward you can give me," Su Chen said calmly. In any case, he was going to kill all the aliens on Wangshu Island sooner or later. If he could take advantage of this opportunity to gain some benefits, why not? I can take Senior to an ancient mystic realm. There are many valuable items there. Chu Wuxuang said solemnly. So you've been to that secret realm? Su Chen asked as he thought of something. Places that could be called secret realms often had great excavation value. Of course, there would also be a certain amount of danger. Yes. Chu Wuxuang nodded. Since you've been there, shouldn't you have gained something? Su Chen paused and turned to stare at Chu Wuxuang. His meaning was obvious. Words were no proof. Shouldn't you take out something to prove it? Chu Wuxuang immediately understood. He then took out a piece of black armor and a gray fruit that emitted an evil aura. Then, he said, Senior, other than these two items, I also obtained some elixirs that can increase cultivation in the mystic realm. However, I've already consumed them. Su Chen's eyes lit up when he saw the piece of black armor. He could clearly feel that the aura emitted by the piece of armor was no different from the black armor that Meng Sheng was wearing. Chapter 5:14. Su Chen released his mental power, took the armor fragment and the gray fruit, and said in a deep voice, Is the secret realm you mentioned on the Spirit Void Island? Senior, where did you find out? Chu Wuxuang was extremely surprised. The secret realm on the Spirit Void Island had existed for a long time, but without special means, it was absolutely impossible to discover it, let alone open it. Then where did Su Chen get the news? Do you know Meng Sheng? Su Chen did not answer the question. From Chu Wuxuang's tone, the secret realm he was talking about should be the one on the Spirit Void Island. I don't know him. Chu Wuxuang shook his head. Su Chen frowned slightly. Originally, he thought that Meng Sheng and Chu Wuxuang had both been to the secret realm and the two should know each other. He did not expect Chu Wuxuang to deny it, and from his expression, he did not seem to be lying. After pondering for a while, Su Chen continued to ask, You told me about the secret realm, aren't you afraid that I will kill you and go there myself? Chu Wuxuang did not seem to be afraid at all, and explained with a smile, Senior, there is only one way to open the secret realm, and that is to have a special bloodline, and I happen to have it. Special bloodline again. Su Chen muttered. People with special bloodlines were very rare, but he met two in a row today. Sizing up Chu Wuxuang, Su Chen pursed his lips. Have you ever thought that I can kill you and use your blood to open the secret realm? Chu Wuxuang still did not panic and said calmly, Senior, killing me is as easy as flipping your hand, but it is absolutely impossible to open the secret realm with my blood. Hearing this, Su Chen raised his eyebrows and quietly waited for Chu Wuxuang to continue. To open the secret realm, in addition to having a bloodline like mine, it also requires my willingness. If I die, it definitely can't be opened, Chu Wuxuang explained. There is such a thing? Su Chen rubbed his nose, and his thoughts slowly turned. He would not fully believe Chu Wuxuang's words. However, the mystic realm had piqued his interest, so he decided to believe it for the time being. Anyway, a level 4 zombie was just an ant in his eyes, so he didn't need to care too much about it. Alright, I agree to this deal. After pondering for a while, Su Chen said. Chu Wuxuang was overjoyed and quickly thanked him, Thank you, Senior. It's just a deal between us. There's no need to thank me. Su Chen replied coldly. Then he asked, What kind of grudge do you have with Zhou Qinyang? Why did you kill him? This was what he was more suspicious about. Logically speaking, zombies could be said to be a branch of the undead. What kind of conflict could there be between them? Chu Wuxuang seemed to have thought of something. She looked angry and clenched her fists. After a long while, he gritted his teeth and said, My family members were all killed by Zhou Qinyang. Even if I become a zombie, I will avenge them. There was nothing wrong with what he said. Avenging one's family members was a matter of course. Yang Hao and the others were somewhat moved, and their gazes towards Chu Wuxuang were no longer as hostile as before. However, Su Chen was keenly aware of a very serious problem. It was common knowledge that after a human was infected and turned into a zombie, their temperament would change drastically. Even if they became an intelligent zombie, it was inevitable. Unless it was someone with a special bloodline like the ones in Temple of Heaven City. Would Chu Wuxuang have that kind of bloodline? The possibility was very slim. Then his talk of revenge could be a pretense. There must be a conspiracy behind it. Thinking of this, Su Chen's eyes gradually narrowed. Without warning, he punched Chu Wuxuang to the ground. Chapter 5:15. This punch, Su Chen held back. He did not take Chu Wuxuang's life, but only seriously injured him. Su Chen's unexpected move not only stunned Chu Wuxuang, but even the others were also at a loss. "Senior, why did you?" Chu Wuxuang spat out a mouthful of blood and choked back his words. Su Chen's cold eyes flashed as he sneered, "What I hate the most is the kind of person who lies and plays tricks in front of me. How dare you lie?" Yang Hao stared at Chu Wuxuang angrily. "Do you have a death wish?" Chow Chow waved the dagger in his hand as he threatened fiercely. Although he did not know if Chu Wuxuang was lying. However, since Su Chen said so, it was definitely not wrong. "Senior, I didn't lie. Every word I said is true." While Chu Wuxuang was explaining, he suddenly felt an invisible force crushing him. One of his arms turned into a bloody mist, and he wailed in pain. "I'd like to see how long you can keep your mouth shut." Su Chen snorted and used his mind power to pull Chu Wuxuang in front of him. Then, he reached out and grabbed Chu Wuxuang's other arm. "Senior, I really didn't lie," Chu Wuxuang argued. Crack. The crisp sound of bones breaking resounded. Su Chen gripped Chu Wuxuang's arm hard and broke it into two. Huang Ling saw this and could not help but click her tongue. When Su Chen was talking and laughing, he suddenly became incomparably cruel. The change in style was so fast that she did not expect it. "Ha! Boy, you really have some skills." At this moment, Chu Wuxuang suddenly sneered. Furthermore, his pitch-black face grew even darker. A malevolent expression appeared on his face. At the same time, an evil aura emanated from his body. "Aren't you afraid of death?" Su Chen was a little confused. He did not understand why Chu Wuxuang became so fearless. "You want to kill me? Do you think you can kill me?" Chu Wuxuang smiled contemptuously, not taking Su Chen's threat seriously at all. "You think you're qualified to act tough with me?" Su Chen raised his hand and gave Chu Wuxuang a slap. Half of his face was badly mutilated and several of his teeth flew out. "How is that possible? You clearly touched the evil birth fruit, so why did you still attack me?" Chu Wuxuang's eyes were filled with fear as she shouted vaguely. "Evil-born fruit." Su Chen muttered as he sized up the gray fruit in his hand. Previously, he had already felt that this fruit was somewhat evil. Now, it seemed that it was definitely an item of great origin. "Do you think you can defeat me with just one evil fruit? You're too naive." Su Chen sneered. His face suddenly turned cold as he said sternly, "Tell me your purpose. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." "You want to know the secret from my mouth?" "Wishful thinking." Chu Wuxuang snorted coldly. His entire body suddenly burst open and then turned into a cloud of gray mist that rushed toward Su Chen. Su Chen only felt an extremely strong resentment wash over him, but when it touched his body, it dissipated and disappeared. With the ancient god-fiend body, he was invulnerable to all poisons and evils. A mere demonic being would never be able to cause him any harm. However, with Chu Wuxuang's death, many mysteries could not be solved for the time being. Su Chen pondered for a while and asked everyone to get into the car, including Huang Ling, Satoshi, lock onto the Jade Forest Mountain and go quickly. Su Chen ordered, then he sat in the driver's seat, opened the planting space, and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. Chapter 5:16. Satoshi, do you know about the evil fruit? Su Chen asked. The longevity fruit tree was an old monster of the demon plant lineage that had lived for countless years. It could be said that it was very knowledgeable, especially when it came to spiritual plants. In the past, whenever it encountered unknown spiritual plants, it would learn about them from the longevity fruit tree. When the longevity fruit tree heard the name evil fruit, its expression changed. It probed, "Master, have you seen the evil fruit before?" "Not only have I seen it before, I also have one." As Su Chen spoke, he placed the evil fruit in front of the longevity fruit tree. "It's really the evil fruit." The longevity fruit tree could clearly feel the evil aura from the evil fruit tree. It clicked its tongue, "Master, when you touched this evil fruit tree, you didn't feel anything strange?" "Don't worry, the evil aura inside can't affect me at all." Su Chen replied affirmatively. He then asked, "It seems like you know its origin. Tell me about it." The longevity fruit tree began to explain. The evil fruit tree is the fruit of the evil fruit tree. The evil fruit tree and the abyss black poria are known as the two great evil creatures of the demon plant lineage. It really has a great origin. Su Chen muttered to himself. But in terms of evil, the evil fruit tree is more than 10 times more evil than the abyss black poria. Hearing this, Su Chen was shocked. He had personally experienced how powerful the abyss black poria was. If it wasn't for the fact that he had many tricks up his sleeve, if it was a cultivator of the same level, they would almost certainly die. Not to mention other things, just the evil aura of the abyss black poria was enough to catch people off guard. And the evil fruit tree was even more evil than the abyss black poria. How powerful was it? The reason why the evil fruit tree is evil is mainly because of two aspects. First, it can gather resentment and turn into countless clones. These clones are called vengeful spirits. Second, the evil fruit tree has the same effect as the evil aura of the abyss black poria. Anyone who touches it will have their mind affected. Over time, they will become puppets of the evil fruit tree. After the longevity fruit tree finished its explanation, it secretly sized up Su Chen. The fact that Su Chen was able to ignore all evil beings made him feel incomparably amazed. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and pondered. According to the longevity fruit tree's explanation, Chu Wushuang should be a resentful spirit, and Meng Sheng was most likely infected by the evil birth fruit. As for the purpose of Chu Wushuang coming to find him to cooperate, it should be to lure him into the mystic realm. Little show, other than condensing vengeful spirits, how is the evil-born fruit tree's battle prowess? Su Chen asked. Since the evil-born fruit tree dared to send a vengeful spirit to harm him, he had no intention of letting the evil-born fruit tree go. Before killing it, he had to find out more about it just in case. The evil-born fruit tree is good at cultivating mental power. Moreover, it has a special ability that can create illusions. Once one falls into it, they will not be able to extricate themselves. The longevity fruit tree seemed to be very afraid of the evil-born fruit tree. Its voice trembled as it spoke. Then what level do you think this evil-born fruit tree is? The strength of the evil-born fruit tree made Su Chen cautious. The longevity fruit tree thought for a moment and said, "Generally speaking, the cultivation of its main body is 2 to 3 levels higher than the vengeful spirits it condenses. Chu Wushuang's cultivation was at level 4. Based on this, the evil-born fruit tree's cultivation was at least level 6. After figuring out the details of the evil-born fruit tree, Su Chen thought of another matter and asked the longevity fruit tree, "Little show, the evil-born fruit tree is hiding in a mystic realm. Do you know how to open it?" Chapter 5:17. That's simple. As long as there's an evil fruit, it will automatically sense it and open the secret realm, the life fruit tree explained. Su Chen nodded slightly, then chatted with the life fruit tree for a while before closing the planting dimension. "Senior, are you really going to the Jade Forest Mountain to kill the mutated beasts?" Huang Ling walked to Su Chen's side with a worried look on her face. "You don't want to kill them to avenge your people?" Su Chen asked. "It's not like that." Huang Ling quickly explained, there's a very powerful level 6 flame spirit beast in the Jade Forest Mountain. I'm worried, Su Chen interrupted. I don't care about low-level mutated beasts. A level 6 mutated beast is barely a match for me. Huang Ling swallowed her saliva and looked at Su Chen with an indescribable feeling in her heart. A level 6 mutated beast is barely a match for him? He doesn't care about level 6 mutated beasts at all. You're bragging to the heavens. Can't you just keep a low profile? Of course, Huang Ling only dared to criticize him in her heart and did not dare to say it out loud. Su Chen ignored her and said to Yang Hao, you can prepare the food now. The giant eagle from before had already been cleaned up and was just waiting to be barbecued. Okay, Chen Gu. Yang Hao and the other two began to get busy. Su Chen had nothing to do, so he looked at the central control screen and began to search for the location of the Jade Forest Mountain. Originally, he planned to go to Tianwang City to check on the opening time of the teleportation circle, but after knowing the whereabouts of the Flying Spirit Stone, he had to change his mind. After all, the Flying Spirit Stone was too important to the Intelligent War Chariot. It could directly activate the Intelligent War Chariot's flying ability, which was very significant. Soon, the Jade Forest Mountain appeared on the central control screen. Su Chen estimated the distance, and 2 days was enough for him to reach it. After a while, he stopped paying attention to it and closed his eyes to rest. After a while, the aroma of barbecued meat floated in the car. At this time, Yang Hao also called Su Chen to get up and eat the barbecue. After Su Chen got up and ate a few buns, he was about to return to the driver's seat. Huang Ling suddenly reminded, Senior, if you want to go to the Jade Forest Mountain, you can't take this path. You have to go around Monpa Ridge. Why? Su Chen stopped and asked doubtfully. There is a level 6 zombie king in Monpa Ridge. His territorial awareness is very strong. If we pass by there, he will definitely attack us. Huang Ling explained. Su Chen shook his head and returned to the driver's seat. A level 6 zombie wanted him to change direction? If it weren't for the trivial matters, he would have taken the initiative to go to Monpa Ridge to kill that level 6 zombie. Sister Huang Ling, it's just a level 6 zombie. You worry too much. Hearing Huang Ling's explanation, everyone couldn't help but burst into laughter. Following by Su Chen's side all day, what kind of strong person had they not seen before? Even a level 8 evolver was not Su Chen's opponent, so what was a level 6 zombie? Huang Ling was stunned. What's going on? Why aren't they afraid? Even the 7-year-old Duo had a relaxed expression on her face. Could it be that a level 6 zombie was not intimidating at all? After that, the Intelligent War Chariot galloped all the way without facing any obstacles. At noon on the second day, they appeared in front of Monpa Ridge. Master, a level 6 zombie is approaching us. The Intelligent War Chariot reminded. Needless to say, this zombie was definitely the level 6 zombie king in Monpa Ridge. Hearing this news, Huang Ling suddenly became nervous. Chapter 518. Huang Ling, is there only one zombie in Monpa Ridge? Su Chen slowly opened his eyes and asked in a low voice. Senior, there is indeed only one level 6 zombie in Monpa Ridge. Huang Ling replied with certainty. A level 6 zombie, no matter where it is a powerful being. Logically speaking, it should have a large number of zombie subordinates. This made Su Chen feel very strange. Chen Gu, the zombie is coming. At this moment, Yang Hao reminded. Su Chen raised his head and looked out of the car. Sure enough, he saw a handsome and elegant middle-aged man blocking in front of him. If it wasn't for the red dot clearly shown on the control screen, he wouldn't have thought that it was a zombie. Are the zombies now so powerful? Su Chen rubbed his nose and walked out of the car alone. Huang Ling on the side couldn't help but worry about Su Chen. She then pulled the corner of Yang Qian's clothes and said worriedly, Sister, is it really okay for Senior to go down alone? Yang Qian smiled and said seriously, in this world, there is nothing that Su Chen can't do, and no one can be a match for Su Chen. Huang Ling opened her mouth slightly and was completely speechless. She was stunned for a moment and asked, "What level is Senior Su?" Su Chen is a level 6 full-time practitioner, but after entering Wangshu Island, his level will be suppressed by 1 level. Yang Qian thought for a moment and said, Su Chen should be level 5 right now. Level 5? Huang Ling swallowed a mouthful of saliva with great difficulty. Her expression turned somewhat ugly. A level 5 practitioner against a level 6 zombie, isn't this like an egg hitting a rock? Who gave Su Chen the courage? Are the people in the car crazy? Why didn't anyone stop him? Looking at Huang Ling's expression, Shen Mengfei wanted to watch the show. As someone who had been through this, she knew exactly what Huang Ling was thinking. When she first came into contact with Su Chen, she also thought that Su Chen was courting death. However, she was shocked by Su Chen's strength every time. Slowly, they realized that Su Chen was invincible. He was looking forward to seeing what would happen next. What would Huang Ling think? On the other side, Su Chen walked up to the level 6 zombie. After glancing at him, he said calmly, "What are you planning to do by standing here?" Seeing Su Chen's fearless look, the level 6 zombie exclaimed, "You don't know where I came from? Aren't you just a level 6 zombie?" "I've heard a little about it," Su Chen said casually. The level 6 zombie was stunned for a moment. He looked at Su Chen with interest and said with a smile, "Interesting. Boy, you're very interesting." "Interesting, your sister." Su Chen snorted and said, "Do you know why I'm not in a hurry to kill you? I want to know why a level 6 zombie like you wants to be alone. If you tell me the truth, I'll consider giving you a quick death." "You want to kill me? And you want to give me a quick death?" The level 6 zombie opened his mouth wide. He almost thought that he had misheard. A weak human being actually dared to say that he wanted to kill him without a word? How laughable was this? When did humans become so arrogant? The level 6 zombie was stunned for a moment. Then, he laughed wildly and said, "Boy, you're really good at bragging. I haven't seen someone as good at bragging as you in a long time." Su Chen rubbed his nose and said, "There were many people like you in the past, but they all ended up very miserably." As soon as he finished speaking, a purple light flashed under his feet. His figure blurred and disappeared at a ghostly speed. Chapter 519. How do you have such speed? The level 6 zombie's eyelids twitched violently. Before it could react, it felt an unparalleled force on its neck. Then, it was lifted into the air. Woo-woo! When it realized that it was Su Chen who was choking its neck, the level 6 zombie's eyes were covered with a layer of fear. Its throat kept moving as it tried to say something, but it could only mutter. "That's all you got?" Su Chen shook his head and threw the level 6 zombie to the ground. At first, he thought that since this level 6 zombie dared to wander around Monpa Ridge alone, it should have some tricks up its sleeves. He never thought that it was just a weakling, which disappointed him a little. The sound of the zombie hitting the ground was heard. The level 6 zombie was sprawled on the ground. The ground around it was covered in long and narrow cracks under the impact of the huge impact. At this time, the level 6 zombie's eyes were empty and its face was pale. It seemed to have fallen into a deep confusion. "Oh my God! Senior Su is too strong." Seeing this scene, Huang Ling in the intelligent chariot screamed as if she had seen a ghost. After she screamed, she realized something very strange. The other people in the chariot were very calm. From the beginning to the end, they had a kind of indifferent expression. Why aren't they surprised? Huang Ling was confused. Next to her, Shen Mengfei covered her mouth and tried to hold back the urge to laugh. Looking at Huang Ling's expression, she thought of herself in the past and felt a lot better. "Sister, is Senior Su really only a level 5 cultivator?" Huang Ling touched Yang Qian's arm and asked softly. She seriously suspected that Yang Qian was lying to her. How could Su Chen be a level 5 cultivator? How could a level 5 cultivator crush a level 6 zombie with one move? Yang Qian nodded. Here, Su Chen is indeed only a level 5. It's absolutely true. Huang Ling swallowed her saliva and felt indignant. Can a pretty face deceive a child? Moreover, I'm not a child anymore. If Su Chen was really only a level 5, how could he crush a level 6 zombie in terms of strength and speed? This didn't make any sense at all. Outside the car, Su Chen was about to go up and end the life of the level 6 zombie. However, the level 6 zombie suddenly jumped up from the ground. It was alive and kicking, as if it had not suffered a heavy fall at all. You have a healing body? Su Chen exclaimed softly. Just now, when he fell, he had used the heaven-reaching hundredfold great strength technique, which was extremely powerful. Logically speaking, even if a level 6 zombie was hit by this attack, it should be seriously injured. However, the level 6 zombie in front of them was completely unharmed, so they suspected that he had a healing body. Moreover, the healing physique should be very powerful. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to recover in such a short time. Kid, you know quite a lot. The level 6 zombie snorted coldly, and then fiercely threatened, since you know that I can't be killed, kneel down immediately, and I'll consider letting you suffer less. Su Chen snorted, curled his lips, and mocked, you think you can show off in front of me just because you have a healed body? Do you believe that I can crush you to death with one hand? The level 6 zombie gritted his teeth and made a crunching sound. A violent murderous aura spread out from his body. He sneered, kid, you've successfully angered me. I'll let you know what despair is. Chapter 520. As soon as he finished speaking, the level 6 zombie took out a palm-sized black cloth bag from his bosom. As soon as the bag was opened, rays of golden light shot out from it. In the blink of an eye, the number of golden lights had reached 100. They stood around the level 6 zombie one after another. Their colors shone like a golden ocean. What's that? Su Chen was a little confused. He didn't know what the level 6 zombie was doing. However, at this moment, 100 golden lights exploded at the same time. The bright light was so dazzling that people couldn't open their eyes. When the golden light dissipated, a group of ferocious-looking zombies gathered around the level 6 zombie. There were exactly 100 of them. Each zombie was emitting a ferocious aura, but their strength couldn't be underestimated. They were at least level 4 zombies. Moreover, what was different from ordinary zombies was that these zombies were covered with a layer of earthy yellow stratum corneum, as if they were wearing armor. So many high-level zombies. Huang Ling's expression changed drastically. She began to worry about Su Chen again. Facing such a powerful lineup, could Su Chen still be their opponent? While her heart was beating uneasily, she secretly sized up the others. However, she saw that everyone's expression remained calm. It was as if the appearance of the 100 zombies didn't affect them in the slightest. I've underestimated you a little. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said faintly. He didn't expect that a level 6 zombie could summon so many high-level zombies at once. With 100 zombies above level 4, plus a level 6 zombie king, with this strength, he could even dominate an area on Wangshu Island. Boy, do you know how powerful I am? Kneel down and beg me now, and I'll give you another chance. The level 6 zombie laughed wildly, looking at Su Chen with eyes full of ridicule. After summoning these 100 zombies, his confidence was bursting. He seemed to treat Su Chen as a dead man. It seems that you have some strength. I don't know if you can withstand a fight. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched as he calmly threw out a punch. Accompanied by a whistling sound, 100 golden fist shadows suddenly appeared in the air. Each fist shadow exuded a sharp aura. They combined together like a small golden mountain, crashing down from the sky. What a terrifying aura. So Senior Su still has such a powerful trump card. Huang Ling was shocked, and her expression was a little sluggish. secret fist technique. The level 6 zombie's expression changed slightly. As the sky full of fist shadows smashed towards him, he gritted his teeth and roared, "Attack together." Roar. 100 zombies roared angrily and attacked together. Boom. An earth-shattering collision sound cut through the clouds. The level 6 zombie and his subordinates were instantly engulfed by the golden light. The ground trembled, dust flew into the air, and the sound of bones breaking and miserable howls mixed together, rising and falling one after another. When the dust settled, the ground was littered with the corpses of zombies, and their deaths were extremely miserable. Most of them were smashed into a pile of meat paste. Isn't this too strong? Huang Ling's mouth was wide open, and her mind was buzzing. Su Chen's strength was completely beyond her imagination. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around. Finally, his gaze fell on the level 6 zombie. Among the zombies, only the level 6 zombie king had not died. However, it was now seriously injured, and half of its body had been blown up. Even if it had a healing body, it was impossible to heal such a terrifying injury in a short time. Chapter 521. The level 6 zombie gritted his teeth and asked in a trembling voice, "Who exactly are you?" On Wangshu Island, he had heard of those super powerhouses, but he had never heard of a terrifying existence like Su Chen. "Is it necessary for a dead person like you to know so much?" Su Chen snorted softly, then shot out a wind blade and cut off the level 6 zombie's head. Immediately, a pile of shiny fragments appeared on the level 6 zombie's corpse. Seeing this, the corners of Su Chen's mouth rose slightly. However, he did not pick up the fragments immediately. Instead, he began to search for the black cloth bag on the level 6 zombie's body. Previously, he had seen clearly that the 100 zombies had flown out of the black cloth bag. This also meant that the black cloth bag and the storage bag were very different things. They both had space inside, so their value was self-evident. Soon, Su Chen held the black cloth bag in his hand. After studying it for a while and failing to open it, he threw it into the storage bag. Later, he waved at the intelligent war vehicle, indicating for Yang Hao and the others to get out of the vehicle and dig for energy stones. Su Chen began to pick up the fragments. Picked up, automatic pickup function, fragment *1, 110. The fragments are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. After saying that, Su Chen muttered to himself. The automatic pickup function was something that had appeared for the first time, so he was not sure what it was used for. However, he was a little suspicious. Was it used to assist in picking up fragments? If so, it would be too convenient for him. Because picking up fragments every time was a very troublesome matter, especially when thousands of fragments were dropped, it often took a few hours to pick them all up. Not only was it time-consuming and laborious, the act of picking up fragments would also easily arouse the suspicion of others. Su Chen's heart moved slightly, and he directly opened the Doomsday Mall to check the energy points needed to exchange for the automatic pickup function. When he saw that the exchange amount for a fragment was 20 energy points, he did not hesitate at all and spent 180 energy points to exchange for it. The moment the exchange was successful, the feedback was quickly transmitted to his mind. Just as he had expected, the automatic pickup function was indeed used to pick up fragments. No matter when or where, as long as a fragment was dropped, it would automatically collect all the fragments and display them in its mind. Furthermore, the items dropped could be categorized. The items dropped from the shards of different colors would be placed together. With a thought, Su Chen collected all the fragments. Sure enough, an image appeared in his mind. The image displayed the items dropped by the fragments. There were over 100 types of items in total. After a quick glance, he picked out a few useful ones and exchanged the rest for energy points. How convenient. Su Chen's lips curled into a smile. The appearance of the automatic pickup function had undoubtedly saved him a lot of time. When all the energy stones had been dug out, Su-chan called everyone to get in the car. Satoshi, lock onto the Jade Forest Mountain and continue forward. Su-chan ordered immediately. Then, he took out the black pouch and studied it. After spending half an hour, he still did not have any clues. Then, he opened the planting space and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. Having an old person at home was like having a treasure. An old monster like the longevity fruit tree that had lived for tens of thousands of years would definitely be knowledgeable. Perhaps there would be a way to open it. Su-chan placed the black pouch in front of the longevity fruit tree and asked directly, "Little Shou, do you know how to open the space storage pouch?" "Master, if the original owner of the storage pouch is dead, it's easy to open it. If he's not dead, it needs to be opened by force. It's easy to destroy it." Chapter 522. Upon hearing this, Su-chan's eyes lit up. The level 6 zombie had been killed by him, so the black bag had become an ownerless item. According to the life fruit tree, wouldn't it be easy to open it? "Xiao Shou, its original owner is already dead. Tell me how to open it quickly," Su-chan said anxiously. The level 6 zombie had been robbing houses in Monpa Ridge for many years, so it must have stored a lot of good stuff. He couldn't wait to see what was inside. "Master, you just need to drip a drop of blood on it. After it recognizes you as its owner, you can open it with your mind," the life fruit tree explained. "That's easy." Su-chan raised his eyebrows and quickly dripped a drop of blood on the black bag. Soon, he formed a connection with the black pouch. With a thought, the pouch slowly opened. Su-chan released his mind power into the bag, only to find that the space inside was more than 100 cubic meters. It was empty except for a black bead the size of an egg. "Isn't this guy too poor?" Su-chan was very disappointed. Just as he was about to close the bag, he felt a strong aura of death and corpse from the black bead. Su-chan let out a soft sigh and took the bead in his hand to look at it. "Master, this is a corpse soul bead." At this moment, the life fruit tree suddenly trembled. "What is a corpse soul bead?" Su-chan was confused. The life fruit tree explained, "Master, the corpse soul bead is something that zombies condense with their own corpse aura and divine soul. Only zombie kings above level 10 can condense the corpse soul bead." Hiss. Su-chan took a deep breath, and his eyes lit up. An item condensed by a zombie king above level 10 would definitely be valuable. He took a deep breath and asked, "What can the corpse soul bead be used for?" The corpse soul bead has two functions. First, it can be used to cultivate zombies. Some low-level zombies will be infected by the aura of the corpse soul bead, and their cultivation speed will increase greatly. Secondly, it can be used to feed a zombie alone. After this zombie slowly cultivates, there is a high chance that it will become a zombie king above level 10. Hearing this, Su-chan began to think. Previously, the level 6 zombie king was able to release 100 high-level zombies, which made him feel very strange. Now that he thought about it, it must have been nurtured through the corpse soul pearl. Su-chan didn't have the slightest interest in raising zombies. Instead, he was very interested in feeding a zombie. Just imagine, if there was a corpse king that was over level 10 as a fighter, how cool would that be? Of course, the prerequisite was that the zombie king had to listen to his orders. "Little Shou, if I want to feed a zombie, how can I make it obey my orders?" Su-chan asked the longevity fruit tree. "The method is very simple. Master, you just need to drip your own blood on the corpse soul pearl, and the zombies you feed will listen to you." At this point, the longevity fruit tree reminded him, "If Master really wants to feed a zombie, you must choose a powerful one. Only then will it have enough room to grow." Su-chan nodded slightly. Suddenly, he thought of a question and asked, "Little Shou, how do you know so much about the corpse soul pearl?" The longevity fruit tree was just a monster plant. Even if it knew about the corpse soul pearl, it couldn't know everything, right? Chapter 523. Because I've seen this corpse soul pearl before. The longevity fruit tree did not beat around the bush. Where did you see it? Su Chen was very surprised. Although the corpse soul pearl was an evil item, from another perspective, it was absolutely a precious treasure. How could it be casually shown to others? This corpse soul pearl originally belonged to the monster plant powerhouse, the longevity fruit tree explained. The monster plant clan was considered a relatively large clan, so there must be many powerhouses. However, Su Chen immediately thought that most of them should be the one who escaped from the monster plant continent to the mysterious heavenly mainland. At that time, he had brought many monster plants' sacred items, including the longevity fruit tree and the essence fruit tree. Little longevity, is it the monster plant powerhouse who brought all of you to the mysterious heavenly mainland? Su Chen probed. Yes. The longevity fruit tree nodded. Upon hearing this, Su Chen said softly, "It seems like the powerhouse from the monster plant clan has fallen." If the monster plant powerhouse was still alive, he would not have left sacred items like the corpse soul pearl and the longevity fruit tree everywhere. Little longevity, what kind of spiritual plant was that monster plant powerhouse? What was his cultivation level? Su Chen continued to ask. He had known about the monster plant powerhouse for a long time, but he had never asked about the specifics. He was a willow tree, and he was above level 10, the longevity fruit tree said. A willow tree? Su Chen frowned slightly. He could not help but think of the willow and weeping willow plants that he had seen in his previous life. How could a mere willow tree cultivate to a level beyond level 10? This made him feel very incredulous. The longevity fruit tree seemed to have noticed Su Chen's confusion and explained, "Master, it's not an ordinary willow tree. It's a Vajra willow. After its cultivation level exceeds level 10, it can transform into a human form and has the Vajra body. It's extremely powerful." Vajra body? Su Chen shook his head slightly. He felt that the longevity fruit tree's reply was a little exaggerated. If it really had the Vajra body, it was almost unkillable. If that was the case, how did he get chased all the way from the demon plant continent to the mysterious heavenly continent and even lose his life? After that, Su Chen and the longevity fruit tree talked about something else and then closed the planting space. As there was still some time before they arrived at the Jade Forest Mountain, Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and closed his eyes to rest. About 2 hours later, the intelligent war chariot reminded, "Master, we're about to reach the Jade Forest Mountain." Su Chen slowly opened his eyes and looked at the central control screen. A few hundred meters ahead, there was a huge lake. There were tens of thousands of mutated beasts gathered around Hupa. There were many different types of mutated beasts. Satoshi, what are the cultivation levels of these mutant beasts? Su Chen asked. Naturally, he would not let this group of mutated beasts go. Before killing them, he had to figure out their strength so that he could be prepared. Master, most of them are normal mutated beasts. There are very few level 1 and level 2 mutated beasts. There is only one level 3 mutated beast that is covered in flames. It has already reached level 6. So weak? Su Chen muttered. He could imagine that if it were not for this level 6 mutated beast guarding the Jade Forest Mountain, all the other mutated beasts would have been hunted down by the major forces. Is the mutated beast in the Jade Forest Mountain one of the 7 major forces on the Wangshu Island? Su Chen turned around and asked Shen Mengfei. Before entering the Wangshu Island, he had heard from Shen Mengfei that the 7 major forces on the island included mutated beasts. The mutated beasts were supported by the Holy Demon Tribe. If that was the case, the level 6 mutated beast in the Jade Forest Mountain was most likely from the Holy Demon Tribe. The Holy Demon Tribe was one of the 5 major tribes. He had never come into contact with them before. He was looking forward to it. Chapter 524. Senior, the mutated beasts of Jade Forest Mountain belong to one of the 7 major forces. Shen Mengfei replied with certainty. Su Chen nodded slightly and said to the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, lock onto that level 6 mutated beast and zoom in on the image. The image on the central control screen changed and a phoenix-like mutated beast with a body length of more than 10 meters and burning with flames appeared. Flaming Phoenix? Su Chen pondered for a moment and asked Shen Mengfei, "Is this level 6 mutated beast a spiritual beast of the holy demon tribe?" "Senior, I'm not sure either." Shen Mengfei shook her head. She did not stay on Wangshu Island for long and most of the things she knew were hearsay. As for whether this level 6 mutated beast was from the holy demon tribe, she had never heard of it. "Senior, it is indeed from the holy demon tribe." But at this moment, Huang Ling suddenly said, "This spiritual beast calls itself the flaming fire god to the outside world, but the outside world calls it the flaming phoenix. A mere level 6 mutated beast dares to call itself a god?" Su Chen shook his head and felt that this flaming phoenix was a little pretentious. However, it had nothing to do with him whether it was pretentious or not. He came here mainly for the flying spirit stones. "Chen-gu, the mutated beasts are charging over." The sudden appearance of the intelligent war chariot attracted the attention of the mutated beasts and thousands of mutated beasts charged over. Seeing this, Yang Hao quickly reminded him. "Satoshi, destroy them," Su Chen ordered. Although there were many mutated beasts charging over, the highest level was only level 2. The intelligent war chariot was more than enough to kill them. Yes. The intelligent war chariot controlled the ungraded Gatling gun and fired wildly. 222. Da-da-da, after a rain of bullets, thousands of mutated beasts were slaughtered. More than 100 fragments were dropped and were automatically collected and appeared in Su Chen's mind. Su Chen originally wanted to check it out, but he suddenly saw a hot fireball flying over. The one who released this fireball was definitely the flaming phoenix. The intelligent war chariot was now in its level 6 form and could withstand the attack of a level 6 fireball. At first, Su Chen didn't pay much attention to it. However, as the fireball flew closer, he clearly felt a violent fire-type might, which gave him a very palpitating feeling. At this moment, he realized that the fireball that was flying towards him was definitely not a level 6 fireball. It was most likely higher than level 7. On the other hand, the intelligent war chariot was unable to withstand a level 7 spell. Thinking of this, Su Chen quickly opened the car door. The moment he got out of the car, he raised his hand and slashed out with his saber. A white torrent shot out from the blade. A terrifying chill swept out and collided with the fireball. After the two entangled for a while, the white torrent directly evaporated after consuming some of the fireball's power. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, Su Chen was shocked. Although his level was suppressed by 1 level on Wangshu Island, his ice-type spell was combined with 2 manifestations. In addition, he used the enchanted saber to release it. Its power was not inferior to a level 7 spell. However, it was still defeated in 1 hit. This was something he didn't expect. Seeing that the remaining fireball was still flying towards him, Su Chen used the golden scales on the arm and released his mental strength. He reached out his hand and grabbed in front of him. Boom! Although the fireball was crushed, Su Chen was forced to take a few steps back. How is your ice-type spell and physical body so strong?" Suddenly, a woman's soft voice entered Su Chen's ears. Su Chen slowly raised his head and saw a phoenix flying in the air with flames all over its body. It was the one who had spoken. Chapter 525. Su Chen had an idea. He said to the intelligent war chariot in a low voice, "Satoshi, take them and leave this place." The flaming phoenix's strength was beyond his expectations. If the intelligent war chariot continued to stay here, he was not confident that he could protect them. The intelligent war chariot did not say anything. It sped away and retreated a few miles in the blink of an eye. Inside the chariot, Wu Yang and the others' expressions became unusually serious. In the past, even if Su Chen could not kill his opponents in an instant, he would still take the initiative in the battle. This was the first time they had seen someone at a disadvantage in a single exchange. After the intelligent war chariot retreated, Su Chen looked at the flaming phoenix and said in a low voice, "This is the first time I have seen someone as strong as you." He was very puzzled. The undead race, the Dharma race, the night demon race, the celestial race, and the sacred demon race were known as the 5 super races. However, the first 4 races could only be described as weak in his eyes. On the other hand, the sacred demon race was ridiculously strong. This was the first time he had met an opponent who could suppress him directly. "Human, you are not simple either. You should be proud that you were able to survive my natal true fire." The flaming phoenix's expression was arrogant. It was as if it did not treat Su Chen as a real opponent at all. Su Chen rubbed his nose and smiled faintly. "We have only exchanged 1 blow. We don't know who will win yet." Admittedly, the flaming phoenix was very strong. However, he was not someone to be trifled with. He still had many trump cards that he had not used yet. Moreover, his cultivation level had been suppressed by 1 level. If he was still not a match for the flaming phoenix, he could exchange for the level 7 all attributes fragment at any time and return his cultivation level to level 6. "You are very courageous. Then I will completely crush you." The flaming phoenix laughed coldly. After it finished speaking, it directly extended its claw and grabbed at Su Chen from afar. Suddenly, a pitch-black claw appeared in the sky. It was 10 feet long and exuded an extremely sharp aura. When he saw this, Su Chen remained fearless and punched out from afar. With a loud whistling sound, 100 golden fist shadows smashed toward the black claw in unison. Bang, bang, bang. After 100 consecutive collisions, the 100 golden fist shadows were all smashed onto the black claw, but it only caused the black claw to tremble slightly. Petty tricks. "If that's all you've got, then you can go die." The flaming phoenix sneered and controlled its black claws to grab Su Chen's head. "I've underestimated you." Su Chen gritted his teeth. Purple light curled around his feet, and he disappeared from the spot at a ghostly speed. There was a loud explosion. The black claw smashed heavily into the ground where Su Chen had been standing, creating a huge crater in the ground. The power was so great that it was as if a mountain had crashed down. Witnessing this scene, Su Chen's eyelids suddenly twitched. If he hadn't escaped in time just now, he might not have been able to withstand the fierce attack even with the ancient god-fiend body. "You're actually so fast. No wonder you dare to challenge me. You do have some skills." The flaming phoenix exclaimed softly and once again controlled its sharp claws to grab Su Chen. This time, Su Chen didn't evade. A small 5-colored mountain suddenly appeared in his hand. It was the Primordial 5 Extremes Mountain that was fused with 5 kinds of divine stones. Since the successful fusion of the Primordial 5 Extremes Mountain, he hadn't used it. Now that he had encountered such a powerful opponent, he no longer had to keep this trump card. When the giant black claw reached over, Su Chen raised his hand and threw out the Primordial 5 Extremes Mountain. At first, the Primordial 5 Extremes Mountain was only the size of a palm, but it grew larger and larger as it flew. When it collided with the black claw, it had already turned into 100 feet in size. There was a loud bang. The invincible black claw was smashed into powder by the Primordial 5 Extremes Mountain. Chapter 526. A Divine Artifact. How can you have a divine artifact? The blazing flame phoenix turned pale with fright and let out a roar. Its eyes were filled with disbelief as if it had seen a ghost. A divine artifact? This was the first time Su Chen had heard of a divine artifact. He didn't think too much about it. He controlled the combined 5 Extremes Mountain and smashed it towards the flaming phoenix. Not to mention other things, just the weight of the integrated 5 Extremes Mountain alone was enough to make the blazing flame phoenix suffer. Seeing the colorful mountain coming towards it, the flaming phoenix flapped its wings and soared into the sky. It then flew in a certain direction. After recognizing that the Yuan 5 Extremes Mountain was a divine weapon. The fear in its heart reached its peak and it no longer dared to tangle with Su Chen. Trying to escape. Su Chen snorted coldly. He instantly used the Atlas shape-shifting technique. His body became 30 meters tall, and his cultivation level returned to level 6. Then, he held the combined 5 extremes mountain with one hand and activated the rapid combat boots. He stepped into the air and chased after the flaming phoenix. He was so fast that he looked like a bolt of lightning. The blazing flame phoenix, who was still flying, suddenly felt a sharp murderous aura coming from behind her. She subconsciously glanced behind her. When it saw a 30-meter-tall giant charging at it with a huge rock, it was scared out of its wits. Who is he? The flaming phoenix's heart trembled violently. It could clearly see that the giant was not only stepping on the air, but he was also much faster than the flaming phoenix. There was no way it could run away. The flaming phoenix gritted its teeth. It opened its mouth and spat out a stream of life flame. Whoosh, scorching heat rose. In mid-air, a huge fireball with a long flaming tail shot straight towards Su Chen. The flaming phoenix's natal true fire was too vicious. Su Chen had seen it once before, so he did not hesitate to use the combined 5 extremes mountain in front of him. In the next moment, just as the fireball was approaching, a 5-colored stream of light suddenly shot out from the primordial 5 extremes mountain and rolled forward, enveloping the fireball. With a bang, the fireball exploded, but it didn't cause any ripples at all. The destructive power was completely offset by the 5-colored flowing light. Hiss! The flaming phoenix sucked in a breath of cold air when it saw its natal true fire being destroyed so easily. It flapped its wings wildly, trying to escape as quickly as possible. However, Su Chen had already chased after it. How could he give it a chance to escape? His level 7 mental strength was released, causing the flaming phoenix to sink into a quagmire. Then, he moved his feet and appeared in front of the flaming phoenix in a few steps. At the same time, a pitch-black longsword appeared in his hand, and he swung it forward. There was a loud boom. A black vortex suddenly appeared in mid-air, floating above the flaming phoenix's head. This is a space divine artifact. The flaming phoenix trembled, and its eyes were filled with despair. Do you want to live or die? Su Chen narrowed his eyes and stared at the flaming phoenix coldly. You're not going to kill me? The flaming phoenix was confused. Previously, it had almost injured Su Chen. Now that it had fallen into the hands of the other party, it was time for revenge. Why would Su Chen let it live? I can let you live, but you have to be my spiritual pet, Su Chen said bluntly. The raging flame phoenix in front of him was the strongest opponent he had ever faced, bar none. If he could take it as his spiritual pet, it would definitely be a powerful helper. Chapter 527. Be your spirit pet. The flaming phoenix's eyes flickered as if it was hesitating. Once it became a spirit pet, its life and death would no longer be in its own hands. If it had other choices, it would definitely not want to be someone else's spirit pet. However, if it did not agree, it would only end up dead. Just as the flaming phoenix was struggling, Su Chen spoke again. If you become my spirit pet, there will only be benefits and no disadvantages. I can provide you with a large amount of cultivation resources and allow you to level up quickly. He was not boasting about this. He had tens of thousands of energy stones on him and could let the flaming phoenix use them. In addition, he could also exchange for a level 7 vitality potion at the Doomsday Mall to allow the flaming phoenix to level up quickly. Hearing this, the flaming phoenix was a little tempted. No matter which race it was, the ultimate goal was to continuously increase their cultivation level. If Su Chen really had a way, it would consider it. However, there was no proof. Who knew if Su Chen was telling the truth? How can you guarantee that I will level up quickly? The flaming phoenix looked at Su Chen and asked in a low voice. Do you know how long it took me to cultivate from a normal person to level 6? Su Chen did not answer the question. The flaming phoenix was stunned for a moment and quietly waited for Su Chen to continue. It was now very curious and also very strange. Su Chen looked like he was not even 20 years old, but his strength was unparalleled. Not only was he a full vocation cultivator, but he had also reached level 6 in every vocation. Even the geniuses of the sacred demon tribe could not compare to this talent. This was enough to prove that Su Chen's cultivation speed was definitely far superior to others. However, no matter how fast he cultivated, it was impossible to become a full vocation cultivator in 10 years, right? Su Chen did not let it wait for long and solemnly said, "It took me less than a year to go from a normal person to a level 6 cultivator." It had indeed been less than a year since he had picked up the first golden fragment and became a cultivator. Less than a year? Flaming Phoenix's mouth was wide open, her expression completely blank. After a long time, it recovered and sneered, "I admit that your cultivation speed is fast, but do you think I'd believe you if you said it would take you a year?" There was a limit to acting tough. From a normal person to a level 6 cultivator, it took less than a year. No matter who heard it, they would think that it was a fantasy story, and no one would believe it. Su Chen didn't get angry. He decided to use his own experience to prove that he wasn't bragging. "You should know that your cultivation base will be suppressed by 1 level when you first come to Wangshu Island, right?" "I know." Flaming Phoenix replied blankly. She didn't know why Su Chen would say such a thing. "Then, I will become a level 7 cultivator in the blink of an eye. Moreover, all 3 of my professions will be promoted to level 7. Su Chen smiled faintly. In order to completely convince the Flaming Phoenix and make it willingly follow him, he decided to raise his cultivation base to level 7. The exchange price of the level 7 all attributes fragment was 3,000 energy points. He already had more than 3,000 energy points, enough to exchange for 1 fragment. "Are you kidding me?" Flaming Phoenix's eyes widened. She didn't believe it at all. Su Chen didn't explain much. He directly opened the Doomsday Mall and exchanged for a level 7 all attributes fragment. The moment the exchange was successful, his aura rose steadily. In the blink of an eye, it reached a new height. "I really leveled up." Flaming Phoenix could clearly feel the huge pressure emanating from Su Chen's body. Her breathing stopped. Chapter 528. "Do you believe me now?" Su Chen said with a faint smile. The Flaming Phoenix gulped and asked, "How did you do it?" It had a deep understanding of how difficult it was to cultivate the Tao. In the Sacred Devil tribe, it was considered a genius. Although it wasn't the top genius, it was still 1 in a million. Even with its talent, it took almost 1,000 years to reach level 6. On the other hand, Su Chen's cultivation was as simple as eating and drinking. It was completely beyond its knowledge. It even gave birth to a feeling that as long as it followed Su Chen, it might be able to have this kind of cultivation speed. "You don't need to know how I did it." Su Chen pursed his lips and said seriously, "Are you willing to be my spirit pet now?" The Flaming Phoenix was still hesitant. In its heart, it was already tempted. However, as a genius of the Sacred Devil tribe, if it became someone else's spirit pet, it would be a disgrace to the Sacred Devil tribe. The tribe's elites would definitely not let this happen. In the future, there would definitely be elites chasing after it and Su Chen. This was something it had to worry about. "Have you ever thought that if you take me as your spirit pet, you'll be going against the entire Sacred Devil tribe? Aren't you afraid of their revenge?" The Flaming Phoenix voiced its worries. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said nonchalantly, "I've killed many people from the Undead tribe, Celestial tribe, Dharma tribe, and Night Demon tribe. As for the other tribes, I've killed countless people. The Sacred Devil tribe won't make a difference." Hiss. The Flaming Phoenix took a deep breath. Its heart was in turmoil. How crazy was it to fight against 5 super races by himself? If it wasn't careful, it would be beyond redemption. "Have you thought it through?" "There's a limit to my patience." Seeing that the flaming phoenix still couldn't make up its mind, Su Chen didn't want to wait any longer. The flaming phoenix gritted its teeth and said, "I agree." Its life and death were in Su Chen's hands, and it had no choice. Moreover, it was not shameful to follow Su Chen, who was a super expert with extraordinary talent. As for the revenge of the sacred demon tribe, it couldn't care less. Su Chen dared to go against the myriad races, so why couldn't it go crazy for him? Su Chen was overjoyed. Suppressing his excitement, he quickly took out 3 bottles of pet potion from his storage bag and whispered, "Drink them all. Don't worry, it won't do you any harm." Logically speaking, 1 bottle of pet potion would be enough. But just in case, he decided to use 3 bottles. Flaming Phoenix didn't hesitate as she took the vitality potion and drank it. Soon, its eyes became much more docile, and it respectfully called out to Su Chen, "Master." Su Chen nodded happily. Then, he asked, "Xiao Yan, what is the sacred artifact that you mentioned earlier?" Sacred artifacts are actually a type of magic treasure, and they are also divided into different grades. For example, when a cultivator breaks through level 10, they are called sacred artifacts. When a magic treasure exceeds level 10, it is a sacred artifact. Flaming Phoenix explained. Oh. Su Chen was enlightened, and his expression changed slightly. An existence that exceeded level 10 had its own name. It was an eye-opener for him. Why is the power of the fire element technique you use so strong? Su Chen continued to ask. The fireball technique released by the flaming phoenix seemed to contain some kind of fire power other than its natal fire. It was because of the existence of this fire power that it was able to defeat the ice element technique that he combined with the 2 manifestations. This aroused his great interest. Chapter 529. Because I've entered the void battleground and awakened the power of the law of fire, the flaming phoenix replied. Su Chen was a little confused. Whether it was the void battleground or the power of the law, he had never heard of them before. Be more specific, Su Chen urged. The flaming phoenix explained, the void battleground is where the myriad races and the void beasts fight, and the power of the law of fire can be seen as a kind of qualitative change in magic power. If the qualitative change is successful, the power will greatly increase. The myriad races and the void beasts fight? What kind of creatures are the void beasts? The more Su Chen listened, the more confused and shocked he became. He asked tentatively, the void beasts don't belong to the myriad races? The void beasts roam the void. Their numbers are huge, and their combat power is also abnormally strong. Among the same level, they can almost crush the myriad races. The flaming phoenix sneaked a glance at Su Chen. In his eyes, Su Chen was definitely invincible among the same level. This was similar to the void beasts. He just didn't know who would be stronger if the 2 of them were to fight. Why do you want to fight the void beasts? Su Chen was puzzled. According to the flaming phoenix, the myriad races seemed to have formed an alliance to fight the void beasts together. But as far as he knew, the myriad races were also in a state of killing each other. How could they form an alliance? Because the void beasts have always wanted to invade the myriad races' realm. Their nature is murderous. Once they invade, it will be a catastrophe for the myriad races, the flaming phoenix said worriedly. Su Chen clicked his tongue in shock. The myriad races represented 10,000 planets. 10,000 planets formed a realm. How vast would this realm be? And in order to resist the invasion of the void beasts, the myriad races needed to work together. From this, it could be seen how powerful the void beasts were. After catching his breath, Su Chen asked, "Where is the void battleground?" Entering the void battleground, there was a chance of awakening the power of the law. He had witnessed the might of the power of law with his own eyes, so he wanted to take a trip to the void battleground. The void battleground, as the name suggests, is a special area created in the void. Its main purpose is to provide a place for all races to fight against the void beasts, the flaming phoenix explained. Su Chen nodded slightly, his mind turning slightly. How can I enter the void battleground? Master is a human. If he wants to enter the void battleground, he must be recommended by a human, the flaming phoenix said. A mighty figure of the human race? What was his cultivation level? Su Chen's expression changed as he probed. Little flame, what's the highest level of our human race? The human race has a saint-level existence. Hiss. Su Chen clicked his tongue. The fact that the human race had an existence that surpassed level 10 was something he had never expected. Since there was such a powerful being, why did the other races say that the human race was the weakest race? Little flame, why do the rumors say that the human race is very weak? The flaming phoenix explained, 10,000 years ago, the human race could be said to be a super race that was second to none. Just the number of saint-level powerhouses alone was close to 100. However, in a great battle with the void beasts, most of the human powerhouses fell. This also caused the human race's overall strength to rapidly decline, and they were gradually surpassed by some other races. Over the years, not only did the human race not recover, but they also became weaker and weaker. It was as if the human race was doomed, and slowly, the other races saw them as a weak race. Chapter 530. After listening to the Flaming Phoenix's explanation, Su Chen was extremely shocked. 10,000 years ago, the human clan had close to 100 saint-level existences. It could be said that they were the leader of all clans. However, there would always be a fall after a period of prosperity. The fact that the human clan had fallen into such a situation where they were bullied by all clans made him sigh. After calming himself down, Su Chen continued to ask, "Can I only enter the void battleground through the human clan's mighty figures?" "Yes, Master. The slots to enter the void battleground are all controlled by these mighty figures." "This is the only way," the flaming phoenix replied with certainty. Su Chen nodded and asked, "Do you have any flying spirit stones on you?" The main purpose of coming here was for the flying spirit stones. As for the void battleground, he would definitely enter, but there was no need to rush. "Master, the flying spirit stones are in the hands of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce in Tianwang City." Su Chen frowned slightly. How could they sell something as precious as the flying spirit stones just like that? The Yulong Chamber of Commerce could only be considered a small force. How could they afford so many flying spirit stones? "Flaming Phoenix, your holy demon clan shouldn't be lacking in energy stones, right? Why would you sell the flying spirit stones?" Su Chen was puzzled. "Our holy demon clan has the ability to fly. The flying spirit stones are not of much use to us. If we give them to the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, they won't sell them. Instead, they will auction them," the flaming phoenix explained. "When will the auction be held?" Su Chen asked anxiously. Once the flying spirit stones fell into the hands of others, it would not be easy to get them back. "It should be in the next few days. Let's go back immediately." Su Chen was very anxious. Riding on the flaming phoenix's back, he flew straight to the location of the intelligent war chariot. It would take at least 3 days to reach Tianwang City from here. They had to hurry. On the other side, the people on the intelligent war chariot began to worry when they did not see Su Chen for a long time. "Big Brother Chen is back." Suddenly, Duo let out a loud cry. "Where?" Yang Qian and Tan Lin asked anxiously. Duo pointed in a direction outside the carriage and said with a trembling voice, "Brother Chen is there." But he came back riding that phoenix. Riding a phoenix? Could it be the level 6 mutated beast from before? Everyone was puzzled and looked in the direction Duo was pointing. Soon, Su Chen and the flaming phoenix appeared in his line of sight. Chen Gu took that level 6 mutant beast as his spiritual pet? Yang Hao opened his mouth wide and swallowed his saliva. The fact that Su Chen could ride the flaming phoenix back meant that he had tamed the flaming phoenix. When they thought about how the flaming phoenix was a much more terrifying existence than the heavenly overlord tortoise, everyone found it inconceivable. At the same time, he was deeply impressed by Su Chen's methods. Whoosh! The flaming phoenix landed in front of the intelligent war chariot. A gust of wind blew, causing the intelligent war chariot to sway slightly. Su Chen, you took it as your spiritual pet? Tan Lin ran out of the carriage and came to Su Chen's side. She looked at the flaming phoenix in surprise. It's called Flaming Phoenix. It will be our friend from now on, Su Chen said with a smile. Then, he let everyone familiarize themselves with the flaming phoenix. After that, he kept the flaming phoenix in the pet rearing space. Everyone returned to the carriage and drove straight to Tianwang City. Before leaving, Su Chen left Huang Ling here. As for those mutated beasts, they had already fled without a trace when the flaming phoenix left. In order to get to Tianwang City as soon as possible, he did not chase after them. Chapter 531. After that, the intelligent war chariot traveled through the night. On the afternoon of the third day, it was less than 100 miles away from Tianwang City. We're finally here. Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief and squinted at the central control screen. Initially, he wanted to take a look at the distribution of Tianwang City. However, he suddenly realized that there were two black dots flying toward him at high speed. They're so fast. Su Chen raised his eyebrows. To be able to travel at such speed, their cultivation level had to be at least level 6. There were not many level 6 beings on Wangshu Island. It was rare to encounter two of them at once. In the beginning, he thought that the two foreign tribesmen were heading for Tianwang City. However, he slowly realized that they were coming for him. Satoshi, lock onto these two black dots and enlarge the image, Su Chen instructed. He wanted to see what kind of background these two fellows had. The image on the central control screen changed and soon, two men appeared. One of them was dressed in white and looked handsome. He seemed to be in his late 20s. The other person was a burly, bald young man with a sallow complexion. It was the first time that Su Chen had encountered such young level 6 cultivators. He could not help but guess their identities. The alien tribes on Wangshu Island were the Undead Tribe, the Green Glow Tribe, the Chimera Tribe, the Stoneman Tribe, and the Protoss Tribe. It was easier to distinguish between the Undead Tribe and the Green Glow Tribe. These two people were definitely not from the Undead Tribe or the Green Glow Tribe. The only ones left were the Chimera Tribe, the Stoneman Tribe, and the Protoss Tribe. It's more likely that they're from the Protoss Tribe. A cold light flashed in Su Chen's eyes. When he left Wangshu Island, he had killed the Protoss Tribe's Yufeng guards. It was normal for them to come after him. However, they were only level 6 and dared to cause trouble for him. It was tantamount to seeking death. Satoshi, stop the car. After guessing the purpose of these two people, Su Chen decided to get rid of them outside the city. In less than 5 minutes, the two alien tribes arrived in front of the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen also got out of the car at this time. After the two sides looked at each other, the bald young man sneered. Brother Pei, rumor has it that the arrogant man who killed our two clans has a silver MCV, and he's very young. It should be him. The white-clothed man nodded slightly. He stared at Su Chen and coldly asked, "Boy, did you kill Jin Su?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and said indifferently, "I killed him." "Are you guys here to avenge him?" He was a little confused. Since the other party knew that he had killed Jin Su, he should be aware of his strength. After all, he had killed a level 8 cultivator from the Chimera tribe and 3 level 7 cultivators from the Sea tribe. In that case, why would the other party dare to chase after him when there were only 2 of them and they were only at level 6? Jin Su, that piece of trash, is dead. I won't avenge that kind of trash. The white-clothed man sneered and coldly glanced at Su Chen. He shouted sternly, "But you, a lowly human, dared to kill a member of the Protoss tribe. This is a challenge to the dignity of the Protoss tribe, so you must die." Su Chen curled his lips and smiled contemptuously. "I'm afraid the 2 of you won't be able to do it." Arrogant. The bald young man was furious. He roared and said to the white-clothed man beside him, "Brother Pei, let me teach this boy a lesson. No, he's just a frog at the bottom of a well. Today, I'll let him know what a real master is." The white-clothed man flatly refused. Then, with a stern expression, he rushed straight towards Su Chen. Chapter 532. Seeing this, Su Chen was slightly taken aback. Generally speaking, Protoss were known for their mind power cultivation. However, this Protoss male before him chose to engage in close combat. It was obvious that he was a post-human. This was a little out of his expectations. However, he did not think too much about it. As his opponent approached him, he threw a punch. There was a muffled bang. After the two fists collided, Su Chen and the Protoss male both retreated. It was the first time they had exchanged blows. Both of them had the intention of testing each other out. It was hard to tell who was stronger from this attack. Su Chen wanted to continue attacking, but he suddenly felt an invisible force crushing toward him. He did not need to guess to know that the mind power was released by the Protoss male in front of him. Su Chen was a little surprised that the Protoss male had dual professions. What was even more incredible was that his opponent was clearly only at level 6, but the strength of his mind power had surpassed level 6 and was comparable to a level 7 mind power. Interesting. Su Chen was slightly moved. He also released his mind power. The two minds tangled together, and the void distorted. "You have dual professions too?" The Protoss male was shocked. For the first time, he took Su Chen seriously. "If that's all you've got, I'm afraid you won't be able to survive." Su Chen smiled faintly. With his current strength, it was difficult to meet a decent opponent of the same level. The Protoss male before him was barely qualified. He also wanted to see if his opponent had any other trump cards. "Shameless boasting." The Protoss male scolded. The expression on his face gradually turned serious. "Since you have a death wish, I'll grant you your wish." As soon as he finished speaking, he clasped his hands together, raised them high, and slashed at Su Chen from afar. There was a sizzling sound. The void seemed to be cut into pieces. An extremely sharp invisible force was aimed at Su Chen and slashed at him. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. It was the first time he had seen someone condense their mind power into the shape of a sword. In the face of such a strange attack, he even felt an extreme sense of danger. Su Chen did not hesitate and quickly released his spiritual force to block in front of him. Unexpectedly, his spiritual power did not play any role in blocking the attack. It was actually slashed open by the giant spiritual power sword. "Brat, you can die now." The god race man sneered and continued to slash at Su Chen with the giant sword made of psychic energy. Su Chen's expression turned serious. His hands glowed with a dazzling golden light as he punched out. There was a loud explosion. Under the huge impact, Su Chen took several steps back. However, he still managed to shatter the spirit sword of the Protoss man with a single punch. "Why is your physical body so strong?" The God Clan man was shocked. The spiritual energy sword condensation technique was his strongest trump card. His power was unparalleled. In the past, when he fought against enemies of the same level, he could instantly kill them. Even if they were one level higher than him, they would still be severely injured. On the other hand, Su Chen, who was at the same level as him, was able to defeat his spiritual energy sword condensation technique unscathed. And from the looks of it, he didn't use much strength. This caused him to feel a deep sense of dread. "Brother Pei, this brat is a little strange. Let me take him on." Seeing that the god race man could not do anything to Su Chen, the bald young man beside him roared and charged towards Su Chen. His aura was ferocious like a wild beast. After witnessing Su Chen's strength, the god race man did not stop him this time. "You're courting death." Su Chen snorted coldly and punched out from afar. In an instant, the sky was filled with golden fist shadows that connected into one and smashed down on the bald young man. What a powerful secret fist skill. Feeling the fierce aura from the golden fist shadows, the god race man's expression changed abruptly. The bald young man also had a solemn look on his face. However, he did not choose to retreat. He gritted his teeth and a thick layer of rock appeared on his body. Chapter 533. In the next moment, the golden fists landed on the bald youth, completely engulfing him. Bang, 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 a violent explosion resounded. When the golden light dissipated, the rocks on the bald youth's body were shattered. His face was covered in dust, and he looked very haggard. However, his aura was very even. This meant that Su Chen's Pegasus meteor punch did not cause any damage to him. "Kid, you have some ability, but you're still too inexperienced to kill me," the bald youth sneered. Su Chen did not reply, but his eyes gradually narrowed. His opponent was able to take 100 of his punches with just his physical body. It was clear that his opponent's defense was very strong. However, the strength he had shown was only the tip of the iceberg. If he went all out, he was confident that he could kill his opponent. Just as Su Chen was about to launch a second round of attacks, Flaming Phoenix's signal came from the pet rearing space. "Flaming, what's the matter?" Su Chen asked. "Master, there are two people outside. One is Pei Hai of the God race, and the other is Piao Powushang of the Rock race. They have both entered the Void battleground and awakened special abilities. They are very strong. Let me go out and fight with you." Flaming Phoenix explained and volunteered to fight. So they have entered the Void battleground. No wonder they are so strong. Su Chen suddenly realized. As for Flaming Phoenix's request to fight, he rejected it. It was rare to meet strong opponents like Pei Hai and Piao Powushang. It was a good opportunity to train himself. Su Chen's gaze drifted to Piao Powushang. "I hope you can use your full strength. Don't disappoint me." With that, purple light flashed on his feet, and he charged at Piao Powushang at the speed of light. Piao Powushang's eyelids twitched in the face of such terrifying speed. He did not hesitate to condense rocks again. "Attack together." On the other side, Pei Hai roared as he gripped his psychic energy sword with both hands and charged at Su Chen from the side. He was very clear that against a strong opponent like Su Chen, if it was a one-on-one fight, he and Powushang would not be a match for him. If they wanted to defeat and kill Su Chen, they would have to work together. Pei Hai's spiritual energy sword condensation technique was extremely lethal. Su Chen would not stupidly take it head-on with his physical body. Just as Pei Hai was about to attack, he raised his hand and threw out a huge rock that glowed with 5 different colors to block in front of him. Pei Hai didn't think too much and slashed down with his sword. Squeak squeak. Amidst the sound of grinding teeth, the giant sword formed from mental energy actually shattered inch by inch. This, Pei Hai looked as if he had seen a ghost. His expression turned sluggish as he suddenly exclaimed in shock, "Sacred artifact." Su Chen ignored Pei Hai. After a few flashes, he appeared in front of Ruan Powushang. "Die." Ruan Powushang roared as he clenched his fist and smashed it at Su Chen. He knew very well that he couldn't avoid it. Only by defeating Su Chen head-on would he have a chance to survive. Su Chen instantly released his psychic energy, causing Ruan Powushang to fall into a sluggish state. He then closed in and grabbed Ruan Powushang's head with both hands. Following that, he activated the Heavenly Hundredfold Strength technique and pulled hard. With a crack, Ruan Powushang's head was broken from his neck and separated from his body. F***CK. Pei Hai was scared out of his wits when he witnessed this bloody scene. On the intelligent chariot, Yang Hao and the others also had goosebumps and couldn't help but shiver. Yang Qian and the other 2 girls simply closed their eyes and stopped paying attention. There were thousands of ways to kill, but Su Chen chose the most shocking one, causing everyone to feel a chill. Chapter 534. Su Chen casually tossed crushed Wu Shang's head to the ground. Even though he was dead, his eyes were still wide open. They were filled with unwillingness and fear. At the same time, the moment crushed Wu Shang's headless body fell, a dazzling light shone. There were more than 100 shards. Su Chen had the automatic pickup function, and these more than 100 fragments had been automatically collected. Gulp. Pei Hai swallowed his saliva and turned to run. Not only was Su Chen powerful, but he also had a divine weapon. He knew very well that even two of him together would not be a match for him. If he did not escape now, he would lose his life here. Do you think you can escape? Su Chen smiled contemptuously, and his feet moved gracefully. In just a few breaths, he caught up to Pei Hai. Senior, please spare my life. Feeling a murderous aura surging toward him, Pei Hai was scared out of his wits and loudly begged Su Chen for mercy. Su Chen was unmoved. He held the integrated 5 extremes mountain, and smashed it down on Pei Hai's head. Pei Hai released his spiritual power to block it, but in front of the 108,000 kilograms of the integrated 5 extremes mountain, his spiritual power was as fragile as paper. There was a loud rumble. Pei Hai was heavily pressed to the ground by the integrated 5 extremes mountain, deeply embedded in the soil. Qin Ji's mountain is really powerful. On the intelligent war chariot, Yang Hao and the others were shocked. Su Chen had also used the integrated 5 extremes mountain in the Jade Forest mountain, but he did not display the true power of the integrated 5 extremes mountain. At this moment, the integrated 5 extremes mountain had smashed a level 6 Shen clan cultivator to death, and the shock it brought to them was unparalleled. Su Chen walked forward, put the integrated 5 extremes mountain into his storage bag, and narrowed his eyes as he looked down. In the middle of the deep pit, there was a bloody meat patty and hundreds of shards that were shining with a lustrous light. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and the 100 fragments were automatically collected. After returning to the intelligent war chariot, Su Chen immediately ordered Satoshi, continue to rush to Tianwang City. Then, he sat in the driver's seat and began to deal with the debris. In less than an hour, the intelligent war chariot arrived at Tianwang City. After paying the energy stones to enter the city, the intelligent war chariot successfully entered the city. Su Chen had 2 goals for coming to Tianwang City. The first was to confirm the opening time of the transmission array, and the second was to obtain the Flying Spirit Stone. Su Chen pondered for a moment and decided to look for the Flying Spirit Stone first. The Flying Spirit Stone was in the hands of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce. After finding out the exact location of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, the intelligent war chariot drove over. Half an hour later, the intelligent war chariot appeared outside the Yulong Chamber of Commerce's shop. The Yulong Chamber of Commerce was one of the largest chambers of commerce in Tianwang City. They sold a wide variety of products, such as weapons, elixirs, and spiritual plants. As a result, it attracted a large number of customers. At this time, there were nearly 100 people purchasing items in the shop. Su Chen led the group into the shop. At this time, a waiter came up to them and asked with a smile, "Dear customers, what would you like to buy? Ask your shopkeeper to come over. I have a big deal to discuss," Su Chen said calmly. Big deal? The waiter's eyes lit up, and he said, "Please wait for a moment. I'll be right back." After the waiter left, Su Chen whispered to the group, "Look around and take whatever you like." Yang Hao and the other 2 looked at each other and immediately became excited. They understood what Su Chen meant. He was preparing to confiscate their property. Chapter 535. Shi Danyu and Chao Ran remembered clearly that back in Heaven Connect City, Qin Lang of the Tongfu Chamber of Commerce had committed all sorts of evil deeds and had been completely uprooted by Su Chen. And the Yulong Chamber of Commerce had even sent people to kill Su Chen a few days ago. Given Su Chen's style of doing things, he naturally would not let the Yulong Chamber of Commerce go. Not long after, the waiter and a lean middle-aged man walked over. "Gentlemen, do you have any big business to discuss with me?" The lean man asked with a smile as he sized up Su Chen and the others. Su Chen said bluntly, "Is the Flying Spirit Stone with the Yulong Chamber of Commerce?" Flying Spirit Stone. The lean man's expression froze as he looked at Su Chen again. He shook his head and said, "How could the Yulong Chamber of Commerce have something as precious as the Flying Spirit Stone?" "Is that so?" Su Chen snorted softly. Without any warning, he grabbed the lean man by the neck and lifted him into the air. This happened so suddenly that the onlookers were shocked and started discussing. Who are they? How dare they behave so atrociously in the Yulong Chamber of Commerce? Are they tired of living? That young man seems to be a powerful evolver. So what if he's an evolver? The Yulong Chamber of Commerce has level 5 evolvers. In Tianwang City, there were clear rules that forbade fighting. Once they broke the law, they would be severely punished by the guards. And the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, as one of the top forces in Tianwang City, was an existence that could not be provoked. In the eyes of the onlookers, Su Chen dared to behave atrociously in the Yulong Chamber of Commerce. He was simply courting death. His fate would definitely be extremely miserable. How dare you? How dare you behave atrociously here? You must be tired of living. The waiter's expression was furious. He cursed angrily and rushed straight toward Su Chen. Sherdaniu, who was at the side, reacted quickly and kicked the waiter's chest. Crack! Accompanied by the crisp sound of bones breaking, the waiter screamed and flew backwards. Along the way, blood splattered everywhere. Hiss! Seeing Sherdaniu violently injure someone, the onlookers gasped. Woo! The lean man was choked to the point that he could hardly breathe. He struggled desperately. Su Chen loosened his grip and stared at him. He said coldly, "I'll give you one more chance. Tell me the whereabouts of the Flying Spirit Stone." The lean man's body of commerce's body of heaven trembled. He should be in the auction of heaven now. Where will the auction be held? Su Chen asked. The lean man seemed a little hesitant, but under Su Chen's sharp gaze, he finally gritted his teeth and said, "It should be in the city lord's mansion. Of heaven of heaven of heaven of heaven. Of heaven. Of heaven. Of heaven heaven of heaven." Su Chen led a group of people outside, and the surrounding onlookers quickly moved away, fearing that they would not be able to dodge in time and would be killed. Unexpectedly, they were surrounded by a large group of guards as soon as they walked out of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce. Who are you? How dare you kill people in Tianwang City? A ferocious-looking guard shouted at Su Chen and the others. Kill him. Su Chen snorted and walked onto the intelligent war chariot without paying any attention to him. Sherdaniu and the other two were like 3 ferocious beasts. They rushed up and killed the guard on the spot. The other guards watched helplessly as their captain was easily killed. They were all terrified and stood rooted to the ground, not knowing what to do. Chapter 536. Back in the car, Su Chen immediately asked the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, find the location of the city lord's mansion." The image on the central control screen changed for a while, and soon, a magnificent building appeared. Then, the image changed again. In the main hall of the building, there were dozens of people sitting around, most of whom were from the alien tribe. In front of the main hall, a beautiful young woman was holding a wooden tray with both hands. There were more than 20 blood-red ores on the tray, which were the Flying Spirit Stones. Seeing this, Su Chen turned around and got out of the car. He said to Wu Yang, "Captain Wu, I'll go to the city lord's mansion first. You guys follow me." As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped on the void as if he was stepping on a flight of stairs. When he reached a certain height, he ran wildly and disappeared from everyone's sight in the blink of an eye. Seeing this scene, the onlookers were stunned, as if they had seen a ghost. After Su Chen left, Wu Yang asked everyone to get in the car and drove straight to the city lord's mansion. After witnessing the strength of Shi Dainyu and the other two, none of the surrounding guards dared to step forward to stop them. On the other side, Su Chen had already flown to the top of the city lord's mansion. He released his mental strength and locked onto the specific location of the main hall. He directly smashed the roof and forced his way in. Crash! Large pieces of rubble and gravel fell into the hall, followed by a tall figure. This sudden scene caused everyone in the hall to be somewhat astonished. At this moment, they all stared at Su Chen with wide eyes. When they saw that it was a young human, they all had a very strange feeling. This was the mansion of the city lord of Tianwang City, Han Sanqian. The young man in front of them dared to break in like this. He was too bold. Was he not afraid of death? When the main hall fell into silence, a middle-aged man with a dignified expression glared at Su Chen and said sternly, "Who are you? How dare you break into my mansion? Do you want to die? So you're the city lord of Tianwang City." Su Chen glanced at Han Sanqian, rubbed his nose, and said indifferently, "Nothing. I'm just here to get something." "Take something? Would the city lord's mansion have something that belongs to you? Even if there is, you can't use such a method, right? Is Han Sanqian's residence somewhere you can just barge into?" While everyone was puzzled, Su Chen stepped in front of the beautiful woman and reached out to grab the flying spirit stone. Ah! The beautiful woman was so scared that her face turned pale and she screamed. She was just an ordinary person. The only reason she could appear in this kind of situation was because of her good looks. Seeing Su Chen suddenly attack, she instinctively wanted to dodge, but to her shock, she discovered that her entire body was restrained by an invisible force, and she was unable to move at all. "How dare you!" Seeing that Su Chen dared to snatch the flying spirit stone from under his nose, Han Sanqian flew into a rage. With the speed of a level 6 evolver, he rushed towards Su Chen with a murderous aura. Su Chen acted as if he did not see him. He did not dodge or defend, and he just grabbed the flying spirit stone calmly. "Put it down." Seeing that Su Chen ignored him and put the flying spirit stone into a cloth bag, Han Sanqian could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. He threw a punch at Su Chen's chest. There was a loud bang. Han Sanqian's punch landed accurately on Su Chen's chest, but it was strangely bounced off. Da-da-da, Han Sanqian could not help but take a few steps back when he felt a huge rebound force coming at him. Chapter 537. How is this possible? Han Sanqian stabilized his body and looked at Su Chen with a shocked expression. His eyes were filled with horror. What a powerful physical body. The others in the hall were also shocked. Han Sanqian was a true level 6 evolver. When he unleashed his full strength, the power of his punch was extremely fierce. However, the young man in front of him had only used his physical body to take the blow. Not only was he not injured at all, but he was also able to rebound Han Sanqian. It was really unbelievable. "Friend, who are you? Why did you snatch our flying spirit stone?" At this moment, a human elder with a withered face raised his voice and asked. Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully, "Why should I tell you who I am? As for the flying spirit stone, it was originally mine." The flying spirit stone belonged to the flaming phoenix, and the flaming phoenix was his spiritual pet. In principle, it belonged to him. However, the people in the hall did not know about this situation. And Su Chen would not explain it so thoroughly. Shameless boasting. A tall undying snorted coldly and stared at Su Chen. He berated, "Human, do you think you can behave atrociously here just because you have a powerful physical body? Hand over the flying spirit stone obediently, or don't blame us for being impolite." Su Chen was very strong, but he was only one person after all. There were several level 6 cultivators present. As the saying went, a tiger could not withstand a pack of wolves. He did not believe that with so many experts, they could not deal with a human. Kid, hand over the flying spirit stone, and I'll guarantee your survival. A green glow race member echoed. How should I address you? Su Chen looked at the green glow race member and asked indifferently. This king is Kai Origin City Lord, Chui Tiancheng. The green glow race member said proudly. You're the city lord of Kai Origin City? Su Chen exclaimed softly, then shook his head and said regretfully, there's an irreconcilable enmity between us. A few days ago, he had killed a green glow race member named Chui Mu, who was Chui Tiancheng's son. What do you mean? Chui Tiancheng was slightly taken aback. He was sure that this was the first time he had met Su Chen, so where did the so-called hatred come from? Su Chen smiled and explained, you have a son called Chui Mu, right? A few days ago, he actually took the initiative to provoke me, and I casually crushed him to death. The grudge of his son's murder was absolutely irreconcilable. Shouldn't you avenge him? I want you dead. Chui Tiancheng was like an erupting volcano, roaring as he charged towards Su Chen. At this moment, his heart was completely filled with hatred, and he did not care if he was a match for Su Chen. When Chui Tiancheng made his move, the others looked at each other and also made their moves. They had all come here for the Flying Spirit Stone, so how could they just watch as the Flying Spirit Stone was monopolized by Su Chen? Of course, they all knew that Su Chen was definitely an exceptionally strong opponent. If it was a one-on-one fight, no one would be a match for Su Chen. That was why they did not hesitate to join forces to kill Su Chen. They believed that if several level 6 cultivators joined forces, they would have a certain degree of confidence in dealing with a level 7 cultivator. Facing the siege of so many experts, a hint of contempt appeared on Su Chen's face. Then, he held the enchanted divine saber and swept it out. As a white torrent shot out, the entire hall seemed to have fallen into a world of ice. The temperature dropped rapidly, and even the air seemed to have frozen. Chapter 538. What level is this ice elemental sorcery? The hall was filled with exclamations of shock. Everyone was trying their best to stop the white torrent with all their might. However, Su Chen's ice elemental sorcery was a combination of 2 ice elemental manifestations and the enchanted saber. Its power was comparable to a level 8 sorcery. It was not something a group of level 6 cultivators could stop. In the blink of an eye, dozens of lifelike ice sculptures appeared in the hall. All of them had lost all signs of life. However, 2 of them were lucky enough to escape with their lives. One of them was the governor of Tianwang City, Han Sanqian, and the other was the skinny old man. Su Chen had intentionally spared the former's life. He only froze half of his body so that he could no longer fight back. On the other hand, the skinny old man survived with his own strength. He held a black wooden staff in his hand, which was emitting a green glow. Ripples of green light spread out, blocking the white torrent that was attacking him from outside his body. You're quite capable. Su Chen looked at the skinny old man with interest and said calmly. There were a few level 6 cultivators present. However, they were too weak. They could not even be compared to Pei Hai and Po Wushang, let alone Flaming Phoenix. On the other hand, the skinny old man from the human clan was able to withstand a level 8 ice elemental sorcery with just a wooden staff. This surprised Su Chen. Senior, I'm from the Holy Empire. Everything can be discussed. After witnessing Su Chen's true strength, the skinny old man was almost scared to death. The Holy Empire? Su Chen's expression changed slightly. The Holy Empire was one of the top 4 forces on the mysterious heavenly mainland. Considering that he would definitely visit the various forces on the mysterious heavenly mainland in the future, he wanted to take this opportunity to understand the Holy Empire. What's the level of the strongest person in the Holy Empire? Su Chen stared at the skinny old man and asked coldly. Senior, the strongest person in the Holy Empire is our king. He's a level 9 sorcerer. The skinny old man did not dare to hesitate and answered truthfully. What about the strongest of the other forces? Su Chen asked calmly. He had heard from the Flaming Phoenix that the human race had quite a few saint-level experts. A saint-level master was enough to pose a fatal threat to him. If he were to enter the mysterious heavenly mainland, he would have to avoid them in advance. The strongest person in the Wen-Shi dynasty is a level 7 evolved being. The Forgotten Autumn Mountain has several level 10 evolved beings. As for the Barbarian Shrine, other than a level 10 evolved being, there are also several level 9 cultivators. The skinny old man replied in detail. Su Chen was a little confused. According to the skinny old man, the Forgotten Autumn Mountain should be the strongest force in the mysterious heavenly mainland. However, even the most powerful forces did not have a single saint. Where did all the saint-level experts go? If they couldn't confirm the location of the saint-level powerhouse, they would have to take a certain risk in going to the mysterious heavenly mainland. This was something he absolutely did not wish to see. Where did those saint-level experts go? Su Chen asked in a deep voice. Senior, you know about saint-level experts? The skinny old man was a little surprised. Saint-level experts only existed in legends. Very few people knew about them. Moreover, it had been a long time since the mysterious heavenly mainland had a saint-level expert, so many people had forgotten about them. If you dare to talk nonsense again, don't blame me for not showing mercy. Su Chen's face darkened as he snorted coldly. The skinny old man trembled and hurriedly explained, I don't know where the saint-level experts went, but there are rumors that they're in the Holy Region. As for where the Holy Region is, I don't know. Chapter 539. The Sacred Region. Su Chen muttered. Were all saint-level experts hiding in the Sacred Region? Why? Since he could not figure it out, he did not want to dwell on it any longer. Instead, he asked, let me have a look at the wooden staff in your hand. The wooden staff looked ordinary, but it could withstand a level 8 ice-type spell. It was definitely not an ordinary item. The skinny old man looked reluctant, but under Su Chen's gaze, he gritted his teeth and handed it over to Su Chen. Su Chen held it in his hand and looked at it carefully. At this moment, the longevity fruit tree's signal came from the planting dimension. If there was nothing important, the longevity fruit tree would not contact him. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He quickly opened the planting dimension and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. Little longevity, what's the matter? Master, the wooden staff in your hand is a branch from the tree of life. What's the tree of life? Su Chen asked. The name of the tree of life was awesome, and it piqued Su Chen's interest. The longevity fruit tree explained, the tree of life contains a majestic life force. Not only can it heal injuries, but it also has a certain defensive ability. More importantly, eating the fruit it bears can bring the dead back to life. Really? The ability to bring the dead back to life was too heaven-defying. Even with Su Chen's willpower, he could not control himself. Master, it's absolutely true. The longevity fruit tree replied with certainty. Hearing this, Su Chen took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. He then looked at the skinny old man and asked calmly, where did you get this wooden staff? Our king, Li Sheng, gave it to me, the skinny old man replied truthfully. Su Chen's eyes lit up. He continued to ask, where did Li Sheng get it? The value of a treasure like the tree of life was incomparable. Since he knew about it, it meant that he was fated with it. He had to get his hands on it. The skinny old man thought for a moment and replied, a few years ago, Li Sheng went out once and brought back a large piece of withered twig from somewhere. Later on, he used that piece of twig to make many wooden sticks and distributed them to those of us who have performed meritorious service. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and began to think. The piece of dead wood that Li Sheng brought back was obviously from the tree of life. Where was the tree of life? Was he dead or alive? Su Chen couldn't figure this out. He could only ask Li Sheng when he met him in the future. After obtaining the information he needed, there was no point in keeping the skinny old man alive. Su Chen released his mental power without warning, sweeping towards the skinny old man. Senior. The skinny old man was infuriated. He didn't even have time to shout before he was crushed to death. After killing the skinny old man, Su Chen turned around and slowly walked towards Han Sanxian. Senior, spare my life. Han Sanxian begged loudly. At this moment, Su Chen was a cruel and murderous demon in his eyes. With every step Su Chen took, Han Sanxian felt that he was one step closer to death. When Su Chen came to his side, the last line of defense in his heart completely collapsed. He no longer had any dignity as a level 6 evolver. If his body wasn't bound, he would have knelt at Su Chen's feet and begged Su Chen to spare his life. Su Chen curled his lips and asked coldly, "When will Tianwang City's teleportation array be activated?" Senior, if I answer truthfully, can you spare my life? Han Sanxian gritted his teeth and asked. He had seen Su Chen's methods. He killed without mercy. Although he was extremely afraid of Su Chen and knew that his words might anger Su Chen, he could only fight for his life. Chapter 540. What I hate the most is people haggling with me. Su Chen's face darkened as he used his mind energy to crush one of Han Sanxian's arms. Ah! Han Sanxian screamed in pain as his face contorted. I'll ask you one more time. When will the teleportation formation be activated? Su Chen narrowed his eyes. His gaze was unusually cold. It will only be activated in a month. Han Sanxian had learned his lesson this time and answered hurriedly. Why a month? Can't you speed up the activation time? Su Chen's face didn't look too good. Anything could happen in a month's time. What if the primordial spirit sculpted fruit tree changed hands again? Senior, Wangshu Island doesn't have the final say when the teleportation formation will be activated. It's always been the Wenshi dynasty's decision, Han Sanxian explained. Can you contact them and ask them to shorten the time? Su Chen probed. Han Sanxian shook his head. Senior, there's no such possibility. Once the Wenshi dynasty has decided on the activation time, there's absolutely no possibility of changing it. Upon hearing this, Su Chen fell into deep thought. Wangshu Island was not the only teleportation formation to enter the mysterious heavenly mainland. There must be similar teleportation formations on other islands. However, he did not know which islands had them. Are there any teleportation formations on other nearby islands that can enter the mysterious heavenly mainland? Su Chen asked. In his opinion, Han Sanxian, as the governor of a city who had been in charge of the teleportation formation for many years, should have some information. As far as I know, there's one on Chong Su Island too. However, it's too far away from here. Even if we take a ship, it'll take a month, Han Sanxian thought for a moment and replied. It seems like we can only wait for a month. Su Chen sighed faintly. Han Sanxian's words were equivalent to not saying anything. It was better to wait here than to spend a month on Chong Su Island. However, in this case, Han Sanxian could not be killed. This was because if Han Sanxian died, Tianwang City would be in chaos and the teleportation formation would be destroyed. In order to protect the teleportation formation, someone had to guard it. It was impossible for him to stay in Tianwang City for an entire month. Therefore, the most suitable candidate was Han Sanxian. If you do one thing well, I can spare your life, Su Chen whispered as he looked at Han Sanxian. Han Sanxian was overjoyed and said, Senior, please tell me what you need. I will be leaving this place for a while. Protect the teleportation array well. If anything goes wrong, you can forget about living, Su Chen said grimly. Han Sanxian's expression froze, and he hurriedly promised, Senior, don't worry. I guarantee it with my head. Su Chen nodded slightly and said nothing more. Then, he leaped and broke through the roof of the main hall. He flew into the air and stepped on the void. After Su Chen left, Han Sanqian sat down on the ground and wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He clicked his tongue and said, "Since when did the human race have such a terrifying expert?" Although Su Chen spared his life, he still felt uneasy. In particular, when he thought of Su Chen's means of killing a group of experts, he was even more frightened. On the other side, Su Chen returned to the intelligent war chariot and immediately asked Shen Mengfei about the teleportation formation. He could not fully believe Han Sanqian's words. He needed to confirm it. Shen Mengfei's answer was the same as Han Sanqian's, which meant that Han Sanqian was not lying. After a while, Su Chen turned his eyes to the central control screen. He couldn't waste a month's time. He could take advantage of this time to kill all the zombies and aliens on Wangshu Island. In addition, he also planned to go to the Spirit Void Island. Chapter 541. Su Chen searched slowly on the control screen, and his gaze finally landed on Spirit Void Island. There was an evil fruit tree on Spirit Void Island. Previously, a vengeful spirit had wanted to harm him. Su Chen hated it so much that his teeth itched. He would not be happy if he did not kill it. "Satoshi, go to Spirit Void Island first." Su Chen decided to destroy the evil fruit tree first. Yes. The intelligent war chariot locked onto Spirit Void Island and sped toward it. Spirit Void Island and Prosperous Dawn Island were not very far apart. The intelligent war chariot traveled at full speed. At noon the next day, it was less than a mile away from Spirit Void Island. At this point, Su Chen stopped the intelligent war chariot. The evil fruit tree was, after all, one of the two demonic plants. Not only was it powerful, but its attack methods were also very strange. He did not plan to let the others take the risk. After informing Wu Yang and the others, Su Chen got off the chariot alone and ran straight towards Spirit Void Island. On the surface, it looked like he was alone, but in reality, that was not the case. The pet breeding space had 3 level 6 spiritual pets, especially the flaming phoenix. Its strength was far beyond its peers. Even a level 7 cultivator might not be its match. The moment he entered Spirit Void Island, he saw a desolate scene. There were withered trees and rocks everywhere, and there was a thin layer of gray fog floating in the air. Su Chen took a glance and opened the plant breeding space to communicate with the life fruit tree. "Little show, I'm already on Spirit Void Island. Can I find the secret realm if I take out the evil fruit?" "Master, as long as you take the evil fruit tree, it will automatically guide you to the secret realm," the life fruit tree replied. Su Chen nodded slightly and closed the plant breeding space. He took out the evil fruit tree from his storage bag and placed it in his hand. As soon as the evil fruit tree appeared, it seemed to be pulled by a strange force and flew in a certain direction. Su Chen's mind moved, but he did not stop it. Instead, he followed closely behind the evil fruit tree. After about half an hour, the flying evil fruit tree seemed to have hit an invisible wall and suddenly stopped. Immediately after, a ripple appeared in front of it, and a silver door of light slowly opened. The moment the silver door opened, the evil birth fruit drilled into it and disappeared without a trace. Su Chen hesitated for a moment. When the silver door opened to a certain extent, he also went in. After entering the light gate, Su Chen narrowed his eyes and scanned around. Then, he frowned slightly. In his line of sight, the ground around him was littered with skeletons. There were humans, mutant beasts, as well as foreign races. In total, there were more than 1,000 skeletons. About 100 meters away from him stood a gray plant that was more than 10 meters tall. Chapter 542. Su Chen did not say anything else. As he approached the evil fruit tree, a pitch-black battle sword appeared in his hand, and he swept it forward. In an instant, a blue torrent swept forward. Rumble, a thunderous roar rang out from the blue torrent, and a terrifying wave of lightning instantly filled every corner of the secret realm. Thunder-type spells were the nemesis of demons and evil beings. Su Chen's thunder-type spell was a combination of the barbarian divine thunder and the ninth heaven dazzling thunder. Coupled with the enchanted divine sword, the power of the spell was unparalleled. He used this killer move to avoid unnecessary trouble, and he wanted to kill the evil fruit tree in an instant. What a terrifying thunder-type spell! On the evil fruit tree, the beautiful woman's expression suddenly changed. However, she did not sit still and wait for her death. After a cold snort, her huge body trembled violently, and thousands of gray leaves left her body and shot forward, forming a huge shield. At the same time, a majestic mind power spread out and attached itself to the shield, forming 2 layers of defense. In the next moment, the blue torrent hit the shield, and an earth-shattering explosion rang out. The entire secret realm trembled. When the whistling sound dissipated, the shield in front of the evil fruit tree had been completely destroyed. However, it had successfully blocked the violent attack of the blue torrent. It's actually so strong. Seeing this, Su Chen's expression turned serious. After leaving Wangshu Island, his level was no longer suppressed, and he had recovered to level 7. The power of the thunder-type spell was comparable to that of a level 9 spell, but even so, it did not cause any damage to the evil fruit tree. From this, it could be seen how powerful the evil fruit tree was. Human, you have successfully angered me. You have the right to be my servant. The evil fruit tree coldly glanced at Su Chen, but the corners of its mouth curved into a strange arc suddenly. More than 10 balls of light burst out in front of it. After the colors on them condensed, they turned into more than 10 ferocious-looking people of different races. Moreover, each of them exuded an unusually powerful aura, and they had all reached level 5. High-level wraiths. The corners of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly, his expression indifferent. If it were anyone else, they would definitely panic in the face of so many wraiths. However, he had the ancient god-fiend body, and these level 5 resentful spirits couldn't hurt him at all. He didn't have to worry about anything at all. This is your trump card? That's all you've got? Su Chen sneered. With a move of his feet, he charged towards the evil birth fruit tree at lightning speed. Stop him! The evil birth fruit tree roared. She had seen how strong Su Chen was, and she didn't dare to let Su Chen get close to her. Kakik! More than a dozen wraiths roared and rushed toward Su Chen. The strangest attack of a vengeful spirit was the resentment it emitted, which could confuse its opponent's mind. Other than that, their attack power was not much different from ordinary cultivators. Coincidentally, Su Chen was able to restrain the aura of resentment. As such, he was only facing a dozen or so level 5 cultivators. In the next moment, both sides collided. Accompanied by the sound of bones breaking, more than a dozen wraiths were all killed by Su Chen. What a strong physical body. Also, how can you ignore the aura of resentment? The evil birth fruit tree was shocked, and the corners of its mouth trembled. There are many things you don't know, and you won't have the chance to know. Su Chen sneered, locked onto the evil birth fruit tree, and slashed at it from afar. This time, he released an ice-type spell. A white torrent snaked up, and the surroundings suddenly seemed to have fallen into a world of ice and snow. Chapter 543. You are also an ice-type mage. The evil fruit tree was shocked. Su Chen's physical body was extremely strong, and his lightning-type spells were far superior to those of the same level. This was beyond her imagination. She did not expect Su Chen to be able to cast ice-type spells, and their power was no less than that of lightning-type spells. It was too unbelievable. Faced with such a terrifying ice-type spell, she knew that she would not be able to resist it with her own strength. You forced me to do this. The evil fruit tree gritted her teeth and spat out a golden ball of light. The golden ball was only the size of a fist at first, but it quickly grew bigger. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a 2-meter-tall, middle-aged man with a rugged face, surrounded by golden light. It's not a vengeful spirit. It seems to be a corpse aura. Su Chen did not sense any vengeful aura from the middle-aged man. Instead, he sensed a trace of corpse aura. However, he did not think too much about it. He controlled the ice-type spell and swept it toward the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man did not seem to sense the approaching danger. He stood still and let the white torrent hit him. In the next moment, the white torrent came into contact with the middle-aged man's body and easily froze him into an ice sculpture. So weak? Su Chen was a little confused. The middle-aged man should be a zombie. He originally thought that he would be very strong, but he did not expect to be frozen in one move. What was the point of the evil fruit tree taking him out? Don't be so smug, human. I will show you what despair is next. The evil fruit tree sneered and pointed at the frozen middle-aged man. It said sternly, "Jean Lu, kill this human in front of me for me." As soon as it said that, there was a rumbling sound. The zombie named Jean Lu shook his arms, and all the ice on his body shattered. At the same time, a huge pressure was released from his body. He had reached level 7. A level 7 zombie. Su Chen was a little surprised. This zombie's physical body was so strong that it was the first time he had seen such a strong one. However, at this moment, the level 7 zombie's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Then, it stomped on the ground and rushed toward Su Chen. Before the person arrived, a murderous aura rushed over. Seeing this, Su Chen's fighting spirit surged in his heart. He raised his hand and launched a Pegasus meteor punch. Suddenly, 100 golden fist shadows covered the sky and smashed towards the level 7 zombie. The level 7 zombie turned a blind eye to this. It neither dodged nor defended, and still ferociously rushed towards Su Chen. Bang, 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 the golden fist shadows smashed onto the body of the level 7 zombie, producing a dense collision sound. But what was inconceivable was that the level 7 zombie was not injured in the slightest after receiving such a fierce attack. So strong. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. When the level 7 zombie rushed over, he threw out the combined 5 extremes mountain, without hesitation. Whoosh! The combined 5 extremes mountain rapidly expanded while flying, and in the blink of an eye, it became 30 meters tall. It was shining with 5 colors and emitting a strong 5-element magic wave. There was a loud bang. The level 7 zombie was not afraid at all, and it collided with the combined 5 extremes mountain. The combined 5 extremes mountain trembled slightly, and the 5-element magic on it showed signs of collapsing. The level 7 zombie was sent flying more than 10 meters away. After falling to the ground, it struggled for a while and stood up again. Hiss! Seeing that the level 7 zombie didn't suffer much damage, Su Chen took a deep breath. The combined 5 extremes mountain was a divine weapon, and the level 7 zombie could collide with it with just its body. Su Chen was extremely shocked. Chapter 544. You actually have a divine weapon. At the same time, the evil fruit tree exclaimed. Compared to Su Chen's shock, the evil fruit tree was even more shocked. Su Chen was just a young human. Not only was his strength beyond imagination, but he also had a divine weapon. It was too unbelievable. On the other side, Su Chen's mind was spinning. The strength of the level 7 zombie was giving him a lot of pressure. He had to think of a way to get rid of it quickly. However, at this moment, the longevity fruit tree's signal came from the plant dimension. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He quickly opened the plant dimension. Little show, what's the matter? Master, that zombie is the monster plant powerhouse that brought us here, Senior Jean Gang Lu. The longevity fruit tree quickly replied. What? Su Chen was shocked. Jean Gang Lu was a divine level powerhouse. At this moment, he suddenly realized why a level 7 body was so strong. It turned out that it was a divine level body. However, Su Chen still had many things he did not understand. He continued to ask, "Little show, isn't Jean Gang Lu a monster plant? Why is it in human form?" He had seen many monster plants, from the beginning of the blood plant to the current evil fruit tree. Without exception, they were all in the form of plants. Jean Gang Lu was an exception. This made him feel very strange. The longevity fruit tree explained, as a monster plant, as long as one's cultivation breaks through level 10, they will transform into human form. Su Chen nodded slightly and asked again, since Jean Gang Lu is a divine level, its strength must be unparalleled. Why did it turn into a zombie? The higher one's cultivation, the stronger their immunity. At the divine level, even the death aura of the undead clan would not be able to do anything to them. The longevity fruit tree guessed, Senior Jean Gang Lu was besieged by many powerhouses, including a few from the undead clan. I suspect that someone from the undead clan has awakened a special ability. Special abilities were very strong. Su Chen had personally experienced it from Flaming Phoenix and Pei Hai. Whether it was Flaming Phoenix's law of fire or Pei Hai's spiritual energy sword condensation technique, they could pose a certain threat to him. Thus, he agreed with the theory of the longevity fruit tree. Little show, the Vajra willow is being controlled by the evil fruit tree. How can we break the connection between them? Su Chen asked. With his current strength, if he used all his means, he had a certain amount of confidence in killing Diamond Willow. However, when he remembered that he had a corpse soul pearl, he gave up on the idea. Through the corpse soul pearl, he could feed a companion zombie. Since King Kong Willow had turned into a zombie, he was the best target. After all, it was a sacred stage expert when it was alive. It would be hard to find a second zombie with such potential even if one had a lantern. The method is very simple. You just need to kill the evil birth fruit tree, the longevity fruit tree replied with certainty. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up. Although the evil-born fruit tree was also very strong, compared to the Vajra willow, it was simply not on the same level. Killing the Vajra willow was troublesome, but killing the evil birth fruit tree was much easier. Alright, then I'll kill the evil birth fruit tree. Su Chen made up his mind and immediately opened the pet rearing space, summoning all 3 of his level 6 spiritual pets. Little Flame, the 3 of you, stop that zombie. Su Chen stretched out his hand and pointed at the Vajra willow. After giving the order, he carried the combined elements of 5 Extremes Mountain and went straight for the evil-born fruit tree. Flaming Phoenix and the other 2 spiritual pets were only level 6. They were definitely no match for the Vajra willow, but they should be able to stop it for a while. Roar! The heavenly overlord tortoise was eager to show off. With a roar, it was the first to rush forward. However, it had obviously underestimated the Vajra willow's strength. Just as it rushed forward, it was sent flying by a punch from the Vajra willow. Fortunately, its skin was rough and its flesh was thick. This punch was not life-threatening. Even so, a huge crack was still opened on the tortoise shell. Chapter 545. Idiot. Don't fight him head-on. Both of you, support me. The Flaming Phoenix scolded. She raised her head and spat out a stream of true life fire toward the steel willow. On the other side, when the evil fruit tree saw that Su Chen had summoned 3 level 6 spiritual pets, one of which was from the sacred demon tribe, its expression became extremely serious. However, at this moment, Su Chen had already rushed to the front of the evil fruit tree. In order to end the battle quickly, he used the Atlas shape-shifting skill and raised his cultivation level to level 8, which was 1 level higher than the evil fruit tree. Seeing that Su Chen had transformed into a 30-meter-tall giant and was emitting a violent aura, the evil fruit tree turned pale and its mouth trembled. At this moment, it clearly felt that death was approaching. It also understood that if it wanted to live, it could only wait for the steel willow to save it. The only thing it could do was to stall for time. However, Su Chen would not give it the chance to do so. As soon as he came, he smashed the combined elements of 5 Extremes Mountain. After breaking through the evil fruit tree's spiritual energy defense, he entered and released his spiritual energy. His cultivation level had reached level 8, and the spiritual energy he released was comparable to that of a level 9 spiritual energy. He easily trapped the evil fruit tree. A pitch-black longsword appeared out of thin air and slashed down at the evil fruit tree. All of a sudden, the void vibrated, and a black vortex, about 10 feet in size, appeared above the evil birth fruit tree. Space Sacred Weapon. The evil fruit tree's huge body trembled violently, and its heart was filled with despair. Go to hell. Su Chen held the Chaos Skysplitter sword with both hands and slashed down. Rumble, the void seemed to shatter, and there was an ear-piercing explosion. Then, the black vortex spun and landed on the evil fruit tree. No, the evil-born fruit tree let out a despairing roar as it watched its body being torn apart. When the evil fruit tree's life force completely disappeared, the remaining half of its body fell to the ground. Suddenly, hundreds of colorful shards appeared, but they were quickly collected by themselves. Su Chen did not check it immediately. Instead, he quickly turned around and looked behind him. When he saw the flaming phoenix and the dark sky overlord tortoise lying on the ground injured and the super ancient devouring adamantine mosquito in Vidra Willow's hand, he thought to himself, that was close. Following the death of the evil birth fruit tree, the diamond willow seemed to have fallen into a daze and stopped its actions. Su Chen could foresee that the super ancient devouring adamantine mosquito would have been crushed if the killing of the evil fruit tree had been delayed for even a moment. Master, Steel Willow will only be in a state of confusion for a short period of time. After that, he will completely turn into a zombie. You have to hurry. The life origin fruit tree knew that Su Chen wanted to subdue the diamond willow and hurriedly reminded him. Su Chen came back to his senses and quickly dripped a drop of his blood essence onto the corpse soul pearl and fed it to the diamond willow. The blood-red color in Vidra Willow's eyes retreated in the blink of an eye, and was replaced with gentleness. Master. After a few breaths, Vidra Willow looked at Su Chen and called out respectfully. Su Chen felt very comfortable when he heard Vidra Willow call him Master, and the corners of his mouth curled up. After subduing such a powerful zombie, his overall strength had undoubtedly increased by a large margin. After a while, Su Chen kept the Vidra Willow in the pet-raising space. He turned to the flaming phoenix and the dark sky overlord tortoise and asked with concern, "Are the two of you seriously injured?" Chapter 546. Master, I'm not seriously injured, but the big tortoise was almost killed. The flaming phoenix slowly got up from the ground and glanced at the heavenly overlord tortoise. Su Chen turned to look at the heavenly overlord tortoise, only to see that half of its shell had been shattered. It was lying on the ground and groaning in pain. Xiao Ba, are you all right? Su Chen clicked his tongue and asked. The heavenly overlord tortoise raised its head and gritted its teeth. Don't worry, Master. I'm tough. I won't die. Don't worry, my ass. Su Chen rolled his eyes at it. It was already beaten up like this, but it was still stubborn in front of him. However, they were all his spiritual pets. He could not bear to see the heavenly overlord tortoise suffer, so he took out a few bottles of healing potion and distributed them to his 3 spiritual pets. After they consumed the healing potion, their injuries healed at a speed that was visible to the naked eye. Su Chen breathed a sigh of relief and kept the 3 spiritual pets in the pet breeding space. Then, he walked to the corpse of the evil fruit tree and looked at it. Every demon plant had a demon nucleus in its body. Su Chen had obtained one from the blood plant and one from the abyss black poria. The demon core was very useful for the intelligent war chariot. It had helped the intelligent war chariot develop 2 functions. One was the automatic recovery function, and the other was the ability to check one's cultivation level. Therefore, he would not let go of the demon core on the evil fruit tree. Later, he rummaged through the evil fruit tree and finally found a black demon core the size of a basketball. After putting it in the storage bag, Su Chen connected with the longevity fruit tree again. Little show, is the corpse of the evil fruit tree useful to you? The abyss black poria that he had killed before was regarded as the top nourishment to help the essence fruit tree bear fruit quickly. The level of the evil fruit tree was higher than the abyss black poria. Could it provide more energy? Master, although the corpse of the evil fruit tree contains energy, it is also mixed with resentment. Once it is absorbed, it is easy to go insane, the longevity fruit tree replied. So it's useless? Su Chen was slightly disappointed. If used together with his Yao core, he can create a puppet that is similar to a vengeful spirit, the longevity fruit tree quickly said. Su Chen shook his head and asked, is there any other use for the demon core of the evil-born fruit tree? Although the vengeful spirit was not weak, even if it was level 6, he did not take it seriously. The longevity fruit tree thought for a moment and replied, it can also be used to forge weapons. Furthermore, the weapons forged will contain a trace of evil power, which can easily confuse the opponent's mind. Do you know the forging method? Su Chen suddenly moved. Ordinary people couldn't use the weapons he created, but the mechanical soldier was a puppet, so he could use it. This way, the combat power of the mechanical soldiers could be greatly increased. Master, I don't know how to forge it. Even if I did, would need some top-notch blacksmiths to forge it, the longevity fruit tree replied. Su Chen nodded and stopped thinking about it. After a while, he left the Spirit Void Island. Unexpectedly, when he returned to the sea, he did not find any trace of the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen was instantly shocked, and his thoughts quickly turned. Without his orders, the intelligent war chariot would not leave without his permission. There were only two possibilities for such a situation to occur. First, the intelligent war chariot had encountered danger and escaped. Second, it had been captured. You're tuning into the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.